for the funny little thing. And we're live on the Metal
Hey.
Lab.
There we go.
Ooh. This is the show where nobody's going to see my face the whole time because we are going to be going over X-Men sealed. Because I know all the opens in my area are sealed, as are a bunch of other ones that people on the show are going to. Because it's a fun option. X-Men looks like a fun field. So we're going to be going over that. Before we start with that, we're going to do week's in review. So I guess we'll start with Devin really quickly.
Yeah. So in the last week, I've played twice. Actually, I should introduce myself first since I've never been on the show before. Yeah. I'm a local player to Jay. I have never played outside of Canada, so most of you who play in the US would never have met me. I have come top 4 in a couple of fairly large events, but never really won anything big unless you count the 200-point limited Christmas win-a-map we did, which is clearly the highest meta form of competition. Yeah, so that's me. And as far as the last week goes, I've played twice. Played just a 400-point Golden Age event. Played some Wakanda, Shuri, Manape, Chair Panther, and Storm, and a Wakandan Warrior. It was fun. Team was okay. I crit Flash God of Death into a wall with Wakabi, so that was fun. Although it didn't kill him, so that was sad. And then played on Sunday in practice sealed for the WKO. Pulled a Gateway, a Magic, 2 Mystiques, and a 15-point X-Student because that was the only thing that would fill out my build. The X-Student wasn't very useful, but theme probs, why not? Went 2-1, lost to Jay because nobody could hit Celeste Cuckoo for a very, very long time. 2 Mystiques just stood there beside Celeste Cuckoo and missed her constantly. It was good. Yeah, that's my week.
Was it the rare or the super rare Magic?
The super rare, yeah.
Nice.
She's awesome. I love her. I already had one, though, but hey, fun for the sealed at least.
Double super rare pack. I mean, can't complain.
Yeah, no, I definitely can't complain about that one. And Gateway was actually the one super rare from the set that I wanted that I didn't own, so...
It's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad.
Michael, what does your weekend Clixed look like?
Well, this week not so much, but I did want to tell you about last week because it has to do with this show a lot. We actually had a Win-a-Brick that was sealed with X-Men. Nice. 2 packs, build 300 points, so it's basically the WizKid Open format. I didn't pull anything. My team, from what I could scrounge together, definitely wasn't anything to scoff at, though. It was the Common Iceman, number 4, an X-Trainee for 25 points, because that's what I pulled, and it filled in the last bit of points. I wish it was the Student for the TK, but it was the Trainee. The Uncommon Beast, Uncommon Jubilee, Uncommon Oya, or however you say it, and then Rare Icarus. And I actually ended up winning the full Win-a-Brick with that team, fighting down super rare magics, chase angels, all kinds of stuff. Like, the commons and uncommons in the set can definitely put in work.
Was it a good brick?
Yeah, I ended up getting the Angel ID and Chase Cyclops,
Nice.
along with Gateway, Emma, and Kid Gladiator.
TJ, if you wanted to unmute before you start talking.
Hey, I got it. I did not play a single game of Clixed. All I did was finalize my build for the constructed WKO on the 3rd that I'll be attending. So keep an eye out at Majestics because there's going to be an article. Yeah, that's my...
I played the exact same event as Devin because we're local. I played... What did I play? For the 400 Golden, I played Death Gods. So I had my new Flash God. I had Hela from the movie set. Full point Mephisto because he's unplayable and competitive right now, but I just love that dial. What was the other thing? I had some other filler or other. I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but it was a deity that was somehow related to death. I'm sure.
I should also remember this, but I don't. No.
You really should.
I did play against that team.
Yeah, at one point, you crit hit Flash, I think to the last or second last click, and then you ended up healing all the way back up between Steel Energy and all that. Oh, I had Casey Spectre at lower points. That's what it was.
Right. Yeah, I just killed him instantly, so I forgot that he was there.
And of course, every time I play Mephisto, I have to include the Spider-Man ID because that's just too funny. And the exact version I used was the Civil War Charge Flurry version, which story-wise was right after he revealed his identity. So that just worked out perfectly. Poison against you because Poison is good against swarmy things, or Shuri because she's really hard to hit. And I actually ended up pulling out, switching out Poison for the Spider-Man against Glenn because he had an engineer who turned penetrating poison into regular poison. So that was actually surprising accidental counter build to my awesome ID card. And then for the practice field, I played Chase Jean, who is ridiculous, along with whatever Cuckoo starts with Mind Control.
Blessed.
Sure. A Moira, a Banshee, and Husk. And Banshee didn't want to hit anything because he's like, well, I'm not the really good version. I'm just the okay version. I'm not the really bad OP hit one, but I'm still not that great either. But it was fun. And I played all the X-Men. I pulled my packs, and I had a theme team. And I left 5 of the figures out. But with that being said, we're going to lose my face for, thankfully, the rest of the show pretty much. We're going to talk about the prizing for the Opens first, which happened to be lined up in winning order. Then we're going to go over the set, and that is going to be a long haul. So we start with the War Machine, which is the top 8 prize. So he's got a trait, free action, choose energy shield, side zipper, willpower. You can use it until your next turn. And then probability control, but only when you're targeted with a range attack. So he has stats. He has an ID card of his own. He has shield level 7 possibilities for now. But it's basically what you see is what you can get. And now Pick a Power is not as good, but I'm going to not let my opinion be the only one because that's how the show works. So, Devin, what do you think about the War Machine?
Can we see it?
Yeah. No, that's the wrong one. So I have to go back and put your face under the camera specifically, so I can't do both at once.
Right. Yeah, it just wasn't showing the entire time, but I vaguely know its style. It seems fairly good, not quite meta or anything, but playable and casual, reasonable keywords. I don't know, not ultra exciting for me, but I'll take one if I get it.
I mean, hopefully we all place at least top 8. That's like the bare minimum. Michael, do you need? I'm going to pull back the title. You need it.
I like the fact that we at least have another option for the ID card besides Peace Machine. I mean,
That's true.
PJ?
I'm not a big fan of the War Machine. I'm glad he doesn't completely suck like some of the ones we've got recently, but I would never play it competitively, but I could see him hitting a table and some fun play.
Yeah, I feel like he's just a little too similar to what we already have in the movie set one, who has running shot and self-busting and whatnot. So, whatever. Moving on, we have the Mandarin, 150 points, 8 range, some generic keywords that are good, some name ones that are never going to matter. What you see is what you get dial, but he has a Pick a Power trait, of course. At the beginning of your turn, choose a standard attack and damage power that you did not choose last turn. Mandarin can use those powers until your next turn. I'm not the hugest fan of it because I just feel like it's Jakeem, but more expensive and kind of worse in pretty much every way. But what do you think? Michael, once I focus on your face.
Let's see. If you want, you can always make me be the big one, and because I've got the pictures pulled up.
You're supposed to be talking now, so you're focused.
Okay, sorry. All right, so here we go. Do you want me to go over to the dial, or you want me to keep it on
I
the
guess
front?
you can jump to the dial since I have you under there anyway. It's hard to jump around.
There we go. Who's got the running shot, ESD, outwit, top dial? I mean, he's cool. I like Mandarin as a character. Now, I don't think he'll be like relevant or anything, but he'll be fun to play for sure.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, he's probably the best Mandarin we have. So, yeah. PJ?
Definitely the best Mandarin we have, but not very impressive with his, large amount of damage reduction that he has. So that's I don't think we'll ever see play, but I'm happy to see a Mandarin that's not completely trash.
I appreciated the sculpt too.
Yeah.
We have so Mandarin was top 4. Top 2 prize is Death's Head, who has the robot keyword assassin, which is kind of good, I guess. 7 range, 75 points, ignores hindering for line of fire. His trait is you pick a character to be the mark. He also has that wit to target the mark, and when the mark is KO'd, remove all action tokens from him and heal 1 click. Another trait, attack, when he's attacking non-Marvel characters, +1 attack. And then later in the dial, damage power, which is range combat expert. And when he uses it to hit the mark, he gets a free range attack that he hadn't already attacked this turn. Devin, what are your thoughts on this Death's Head?
An interesting trait. I like the mark thing. Synergizes well with his damage power, but the fact that he only has that damage power when he's at 9 and 2, 10 and 2 on at the most is kind of terrible. I like that he gets extra stats, although not that many when attacking non-Marvel characters, because there are a lot of those sitting around everywhere. But if you were playing him competitive, you shouldn't. He's not good enough.
Unimo.
Yeah, that doesn't help either.
Yeah. Michael?
I think my favorite part about him is the trans-dimensional bounty. The fact that something in the game is specifically naming part of the game, saying, hey, you're playing a Marvel character. You're not playing Turtles. You're not playing DC. You're specifically doing that. I just thought that was really cool. I mean, I agree. It's not going to be like relevant meta, but I love the fact that it has that trait.
PJ?
I love this piece, and I think it absolutely will be competitive in meta. He has like the values of a excellent secondary attacker with a lot of upsides. Like top dial, running shot, 11 attack, pin sai with 7 range is really good for 75 points.
Oh, I didn't look at what his points were.
Like he's a cheap piece, and he does a lot for what you're paying. I absolutely think this guy will end up not necessarily breaking the meta, but I could see a common Green Lantern carrying this guy around and then letting him shoot afterward. And he's not unique, and I don't know. I think he actually has potential to be really awesome. And he's a robot.
So, of course. I mean, you're PJ, so robot.
And now we are going to be looking at the major player in this whole thing, the first place exclusive Lockjaw. 6 clicks, 7 range, Inhumans, Pet Avengers, Animal Cosmic. Real name Lockjaw, not that it matters because there's never going to be a Lockjaw ID card, I'm pretty sure. So his first trait is he starts with 6 Infinity tokens and he has a maximum of 6. He would take damage instead of remove an Infinity token. When he has no Infinity tokens, he's KO'd. And on top of that, he's not a standard character, so you can't have him pilot or be equipped. And this trait has protected Pulse Wave, not the whole dial. Infinity Caller, free, choose standard power, roll d6, turns that click number. He can use the chosen power until your next turn. If you chose a power that is now displayed, also modifies combat place +1 until your next turn or the dial is clicked. So you pick a power, and then if you're click that you end up on ends up making that redundant. You get stats instead, which is pretty cool. And it's a what you see is what you get dial, except for his one special power, which is to power action and get another infinity token. So he can keep himself alive a little bit longer. PJ, what are your thoughts on the fantastic puppy?
This puppy is absolutely amazing. Not only does he do a lot himself, but we got a new absolutely abusable piece of mastermind fodder for a lot of different characters. Like, he shares a keyword with Goblin King, so even the 75.1 can mastermind to him. Like, he's gonna see a ton of play. And
what do they share?
He is going to run $150 to $200 for the first couple of weeks that he's out.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the shared keyword there?
Cosmic.
Does Goblin King have Cosmic? I thought he was only, like, what, Monster Ruler, Dark Avenger?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Never mind. I'm making stuff up, apparently. Yeah. Clearly, Goblin King's a pet Avenger. Come on.
I love that it has that keyword.
Double Infinity Gauntlet. I like it. Devin?
Yeah, amazing dial. Really, really difficult to kill, especially with his Click 6 special defense power, allowing him to regen a full hit, which is awesome, if you get to it ever. Also, I think it was you that pointed out to me, Jay, that if he picks a power and then goes to Click 6, he can die to unavoidable damage from Darwin.
I'm 99%
That's still the
sure.
case?
Yep.
It's hard to say because of how it doesn't take damage is worded. It's going to need clarification.
But unavoidable generally goes past everything, so it seems likely at the moment. But yeah, I guess we'll have to wait for an official
If you're
rule,
playing against
sure.
Darwin and you roll 6,
Yeah.
but nobody's going to be playing Darwin in Constructed, at least, because that's really dumb. So,
yes. And let's be real. If I'm playing him, I'm not rolling a 6. So.
Yeah, you have to rely on your dice being bad. That's over. That's a good strat.
Michael, what are your thoughts here?
Oh no, I absolutely love this piece. I think it's fantastic. Joker 2.0. I think after we get rotation, since we lost Haha, Lex is gonna really like Lockjaw.
Yep. Wait, but that's not for normal WizKid 300, for like 400 whatever tournaments.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but still, this he really feels like a first place exclusive piece. He just does, especially compared to Shadowcat. I'm looking forward to hopefully getting one. I'm not 100% sure because you never know with these things, but yeah, it's Lockjaw with all the Infinity Gems. You can never go wrong with that. And if you want to win one, you either have to play Constructed, and that's kind of an unknown field right now, or you go to Sealed, and that's where we start off with Sealed play. If I can just open the right tab.
Did Lockjaw just became the ultimate toolbox for Animal Man?
Wow.
That is a good point.
That's a relevant piece.
Yeah, that is also a good point.
Pick any power from Lockjaw, and Lockjaw has almost every power.
I would put that in Rock Age.
Yeah.
He covers Animal Man's mind control weakness, so that's good.
Yeah. So now we're going to be looking at Sealed as advertised. Basically, we're going to be saying yes, no, or situational. Play this piece in Sealed. So we start off with Cyclops, who has the X-Men First Class trait, which is a common trait, although different characters have different versions of it, like different effects. So when he makes the first attack during the turn and hits, friendly characters with the X-Men keyword modify damage +1 to your next turn. I've seen some people be confused about this. This does include himself because you hit and then you calculate damage. So he has a minimum 3 if he does get that awesome hit. And then he has Optic Blast, which is Psychic Blast, and when he uses it, you either get attack +1 or damage +1. Otherwise, what you see is what you get: leadership, running shot, a lot of Cyclopsy powers. Nothing really surprising. So we're going to start off with Devin because I don't want to be anti-Cyclops to begin with.
Yeah, he is definitely playable. His trait is amazing. Giving your entire team +1 damage is awesome. Leadership is always great in 300 point sealed, especially in a set with as many fairly low point characters as this one. There is definitely better for 50 points, but you should use him if you pull him and you don't have something that's clearly better, which I assume we'll discuss as we go on.
Michael?
Honestly, this piece is an autoplay for me. Unless I have something that's just outstandingly so much better. That fact that he's a 11 for 3 Pensai when there's not many penetrating things in the set, and then when he hits, your entire team becomes most likely an 11 whatever. It just becomes really, really relevant. Plus, he, like you said, has the leadership. I think I've pulled a Cyclops in all of the sealeds I've done except for the Winterbrick, and I played him every time. Like, he was just extremely relevant every time.
PJ?
I think he's generally pretty playable. More so for the leadership. The one-clicker running shots, meh. And penetrating Psychic Blast in this set is actually kind of a trap power because there's barely any damage reduction. So, like, It's nice. I like him for his trait, and I like him for his leadership, but that's about it. His
defense is also not good.
16. Yeah, he's good enough to play, but he's not an auto play for me.
The reason I'm such an advocate for the penetrating damage is because there's little things like Husk that we'll get into later, or I forget who it is. The other ones that can like hide next to walls and then get like super bulky. You just sometimes can't hit through it if you don't have that.
Yeah, Rock Slide and Mondo.
Yeah, Rock Slide.
And Mondo.
Yeah, those are the two I was thinking of.
Yeah, I feel like you probably should be considering him. He can, if you feel like you can hit with a 10 attack, he can be just doing 4 damage. And he's probably one of the easier leadership pieces to pull because I think it's just there's not so many in the common slot, and I feel like with this set, it's not so much that leadership is good, it's that there's just so much leadership that if you're not playing it, you're almost at a disadvantage. But I don't know. I never had a chance to play with him in Sealed, I don't think, but I still think he looks good, and I played a bunch of Sealed. I would probably play him, but I wouldn't like go out of my way to force him in if I really had something better. But moving on to 002 Marvel Girl, we have the first class trait as well, but hers is for range, and then her special attack power is TK, and when she uses it to make an object attack, she either gets attack +1 or damage dealt +1. And I just wanted to jump in first here because this is a really weird set in this regard, and there's so much TK that it's not like, oh, I pulled TK, I must play it. It's, do I have a better TK? And I feel like in her case, she's really not the best option. If you want TK and she's your only option, she's fine. But I just feel like she shouldn't be getting priority over other better things or any other TK piece in the set pretty much. Although object attacks for potential 4 damage with a heavy object is still good. But I was wondering what you were thinking, Michael.
I don't like her, honestly. Like you said, there's just so many better options, and I get disappointed every time I pull her, honestly, because I'd rather see something else in that uncommon slot. I'd rather pull an X-Student all day.
Yeah. PJ?
I'd never play her. I don't even think I would force it if I wanted the TK. I think I'd just deal without it. I don't think she does anything. Like, she's just there. I mean, yeah, she can TK, and that is literally it. So I would never play her.
Fair enough. Devin?
Player if you really, really, really need the TK, and everything else you pulled is trash.
Harsh words from Marvel Girl.
Well, she didn't.
Marvel Girl. Nobody's
She
ever
didn't
gonna talk about you again. We have the Common Beast with no X-Men keyword, which is a little funny, but still he has some good stuff going on. Like the X Factor trait which is fairly common, which is when he hits with an attack, you get +1 damage for each 5 in the attack roll. So decent odds you get a +1 damage. If you manage to roll double 5s, the knockback is just generally good. +2 damage is good. He has a special power on most of his dial, Leap Climb, and when you move 4 squares or less with it, you can make a close attack after. So, you get improved charge, but you can't make a close action. He has Outwit, super senses defensively that moves into reflexes, and we are starting with PJ this time.
This is a piece you're guaranteed to open 5 of in 2 boosters. So, I don't know what it is. That's just like I feel like when I opened my cases, this was just in every booster, and he is just not good. It has Outwit, but no X-Men keyword makes him really awkward to build with. Like if you're going X Factor in 2 boosters, sure, but the likelihood of that's kind of low. I don't think the Outwit is so absolutely necessary that you try to force play a bad piece. So yeah.
Yeah, the fact that all the X Factor characters don't have X-Men is kind of weird and kind of makes them less playable. Yeah, I have played him. He's not bad. He's just not spectacular either. He's middle of the road, whatever. Devin?
Yeah, Outwit is good, so that's nice. Other than that, if you can't play a theme team, then he's good. 60 points for what he does is maybe a little steep compared to a lot of the rest of the set. But if you don't get another Outwit and you feel like you probably need one on your team, then he's definitely playable. And the X Factor trait's always nice. My opponent at one point rolled double 5s and dealt 4 damage, so that was awesome.
Michael, to finish this off?
When we get to the next figure, I'll bring what you just set up again. But yeah, I mean, if you absolutely need a close attacker, I guess. I mean, the Outwit's really where most of his value is. I mean, he's 10 attack no matter what. So, meh. I mean, I'd rather play the other beast personally.
The other beast is actually really good, but we'll get to him in a bit.
Yeah, that's fair. Now we have Iceman, also X Factor, Defenders, blah, 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 doesn't matter. He has triple target incapacitate as a special attack power. I think triple target incapacitate is a decent option considering how many characters there's going to be. And he has a decent defense power every click. Pulse Wave is good. Pulse Wave with the X Factor trait is good. I would play him, probably. Devin?
Yeah, triple target incapacitate is pretty good. Definitely Pulse Wave is always quite good. The mid-dial drop-in attack isn't ideal because a lot of people in this set do around 3 damage, 2 or 3. So getting hit to a 9 kind of sucks. But then you have shape change and stuff, so that's nice. He's definitely very playable. Not the best figure in the set.
Michael?
This figure, every time it gets played, has a huge target on its back just because there's not really any willpower. And if you get stuck with Iceman, you're either, like, being hit with him, you're either pushing to do something and then you're stuck and you took damage, or you have to clear and that just lets your opponent go in with everything else. Plus, watching an Iceman roll double 5s during a multi-target pulse wave is terrifying. So...
PJ?
I think with the new wording on Pulse Wave, it added.
Right. Yeah, good.
It doesn't work. Because it modifies your damage value, and you have a locked value. It would have to increase your damage dealt.
There's no such thing as locked anymore, technically.
Yeah, they got rid of lock.
Yeah, right, but you still can't perplex up multi-target Pulse Wave damage. It's the same concept. It can't be modified.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it said damage dealt, it would work.
Yeah, if it said damage dealt, it would absolutely work.
Okay, good.
I like
that would be terrifying.
I like this guy a lot. I don't like his X Factor trait. Like, I understand why he has it and stuff, but 90% of the time, it's never going to apply. 90% never. Yeah, whatever. 90% of the time, it won't apply because you're either triple target in capping or you're probably multi-target pulse waving. So, on that, but otherwise, absolutely playable piece. And I think if you open him, you probably try to fit him in. Unless you can get theme, then don't force him.
Yeah, that's kind of the question with a lot of figures in this set. It's like, is it worth breaking theme over? Not necessarily all the time, but I think there will be a couple of those figures that you do warrant it, but that'll come up later once we hit the uncommon slot. We'll move on to the X trainee, if these jumps work, or just do this. As I said about length before. X student trait, which is pretty common. When this character or an adjacent friendly character's attack roll includes exactly 1/5, modify one target's defense -1. It's just good to have randomly. I don't know. It makes 5 and 1s become 7 essentially. It's fine. And then the other trait is to pay 15 points and your opponent picks the starting line, or you pay 25 points and you choose. And based on what I can tell, it's you choose every single game if you're paying the 25 based on past precedent. But if I'm proven wrong, it is what it is. Standard powers all the way through, except for the one starting line in which the extra unique gets a range value of 6 with range combat expert. And we are starting with Devin.
Yeah, at 25, good option for the points. There's not that much that's exactly 25 points in this set. X-Student is probably a better option, but Hypersonic is always pretty good. At 15 points, still playable. Again, there's not that much filler. It does exist. Better filler than Artie, probably, even though they get to choose the line. Still, theme probs if you're playing X-Men, and X-Student trait is nice to support your other pieces. Not great, not terrible.
I mean, I've lost games to the X-Student trait. Because,
yeah, you literally did.
But yeah, 15 points for it, pretty decent. Michael?
I hate this figure. I mean, it's great for its points, but I get angry every time because every sealed I pull it instead of X-Student, and I just want X-Student. The X-Trainee is like a troll. Like, the Hypersonic's cool. I'm either going to play it on Hypersonic or on the Range Combat Expert. I'm probably not going to play it on the other two because it's just a free 25 points otherwise. But typically it tends to just sit in the back while the rest of my force does stuff, and it's just filler.
Would you play it at 15?
I mean, if I needed the extra theme prob, I guess.
Yeah. PJ?
I play this figure 100% of the time that I open it. Like, I don't see any exception to that. Why would you not want a 25-point piece with hypersonic speed? Like, it's already the best power in sealed. Why would you not just want that all the time for 25 points? Like, he has pretty reasonable values. 10 and 2 with the absurd amount of perplex in this set. You just play this piece every time on hypersonic and just go for it. Like, if it dies, oh well, it's your 25-point piece. I'm sure it put in enough work. Like, no exception. I play this every time I open it. If I open 4 somehow, I play all 4. I don't care.
I don't think I like it quite as much as you, but I think it does definitely have some merit. Even if you're playing it at 15 points, like, what's the worst starting line your opponent can give you?
Close combat expert.
I was actually gonna say I really like that line for 15 points because it helps you do X-Student trait more because you can jump around with sidestep. But yeah, and there's not really a bad one.
Click 1 and 2, I think, is the worst because it's immobile.
Yeah.
And yeah,
it's the best values,
but if I play against a trainee at 15, that's the dial I put it on.
Yeah. And it's also not like the you get a better range value for prob. It's just 6 still, so you're not really gaining anything with the range. It's just I'm never making an attack. It's never going to happen
unless you have a rare Professor X like Jay did. At which point you put it on.
Or you have TK with like what is it, Hellion that does the double TK?
The quadruple, yeah.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
Now we flip over to the gender swap version, or I guess I'm going to use these links. We have the X-Student, same thing except different dials. So sidestep support, force blast, TK, mind control, super senses, plasticity, poison. Starting with Michael this time.
This is the one that I want to pull because I'm always going to play it on that TK force blast click. 25 points for TK in sealed is extremely relevant.
PJ?
I agree. This is another one of the pieces. If you get it, you probably play it. It's not as good as trainee, in my opinion. But the TK is great, and also his first set where he has sidestep support is great.
Mm-hmm.
If you end up hitting like 100 Super Rare Wolverine or just something deep, like the support will just be invaluable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I played with the support option at one point, but my characters ended up just having 2 shell dials for it to really matter. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't play this at 15 unless I really wanted the theme prob, because the options that aren't, like, the plasticity poison's never going to work, because if you base, they're going to kill it.
I actually did get it off.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, your
Were they
opponent must
pushed?
have missed a really easy
No,
roll.
they
then.
double tokened their Banshee.
Mm.
So I just walked up beside their Banshee and had Mystique standing on the diagonal so they couldn't see him to shoot him.
Wow. Very
And then he
situational.
missed 2 more times, and I got to poison a couple more times, but...
Was that at
Even
15
without it.
or 25?
That was 15. Yeah, they chose the plasticity poison
okay.
for me.
So you do like the piece.
Yeah, I love TK, obviously. If you have no other leadership, Hellion is probably a better option for 15 points more, because multiple TKs and a leadership is awesome. But other than that, very playable. If you have the Headmaster Wolverine, support is amazing. And at 15, again, if you need somebody to be able to use theme probs because your other characters want to be taking more relevant actions, play it. But it probably won't be that useful, except the one time it actually got a poison off.
Yeah, I always forget about support being minimum 1 now, and I keep on forgetting that it really does work if you have a stop click.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We move on to Moira McTaggart non-prime. She has the Headmaster trait and the X-Men keyword, and she has sidestep willpower to start, but you're never using that willpower unless you're really afraid your opponent's going to kill her, but that outwit is something you're probably going to want to push onto, in my opinion. But I guess if we're going with a Scottish character, we have to start with PJ.
She's another auto play. It's 25 points for a leadership and a perplex. So that's really all that matters. Nothing else is relevant at all about her. So yeah, that's it. That's it. You play her. You open her. You play her just because of her synergy with the set.
Yeah, it's not like in this set there's a 300-point piece where there's no room for her. It's like, what's the highest points in the set? Iceman 175? So, yeah, there's no reason not to play her.
You play her in 2 50-point pieces or 4 X trainees. All right.
Devin?
The only reason not to play her is if you have literally no other X-Men. That will never happen. But if somehow you manage to open no other X-Men, then she's not that useful. Again, even then, she's still 25 points for a leadership and to push on to an outwit, so not awful. I hate her irrationally because I faced her in my first sealed, and I failed to kill her for 4 turns in a row, missing her 16 defense, needing like 5s. But other than that, she's amazing. Yeah, player.
Yeah, there should literally never be a situation where you don't have more X-Men, because you have to use 2 boosters of the same thing for this environment. Like WizKid says so, unless your venue's not doing what they're supposed to, or you just somehow pulled the most impossible packs ever.
Yeah, I mean, there are enough characters without the keyword in the set for you to pull it. It's just ridiculously unlikely.
Or you pull 2 150-point Super Rare Wolverines.
Wow.
True. Then you play that.
Yeah, then you just play that.
And then they perplex each other. Their leaderships take tokens off each other. They're great.
Yeah,
well, we did once have an open where somebody pulled 2 King Sharks, so that does seem possible.
That did happen, yeah.
There's exactly 4 commons in this set that don't have the X-Men keyword.
Yes. I said it was very unlikely.
What are your thoughts on Moira? Michael, do you think that she's bad somehow?
Oh, yeah, she's terrible. No, she's autoplay every single time. Like, I don't know what you're doing with your life in an X-Men set if you're not playing her.
Yeah, pretty much. And now, with the good Moira McTaggart, we flip over to the Prime dial, which is not a headmaster, but has the X-Men keyword anyway. Her trait, one adjacent friendly characters use mind control, they can use it with triple target. And her trait, free, choose a character in a KO area and turn to a starting line this game. And then she can use a standard power they have on that click until the next turn. So she's not super limited pick of power, but you do have to wait for stuff to start getting KO'd. It's whatever. Otherwise, she's not much of an attacker until late dial. Perplex is nice. She's only 40 points. Like, the only way I see you not playing her is if you have any other Prime in the same set, which seems very unlikely for Sealed, but otherwise, yeah. Let's start with Devin.
Yeah, she's okay. Perplex is good. She's an okay backup attacker. Pick of power is always nice, although obviously a little worse in this set than otherwise, but I don't know why your opponent would be playing a Darwin unless they didn't really have any other options for filling in their team. You'll probably end up playing her depending on what else you pull, but don't force her in there if she doesn't really fit. She's not that good.
I think Darwin is at least decent type in this set, because there's no...
I mean, to be fair, I did play him in a sealed, but...
Michael?
I mean, I agree. It's like, don't force it to happen, but if you can let it happen, let it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that has Perplex on its second dial, so seeing it on the first click is rather nice. And if you're in a battle royale, she's hilarious.
True.
Good point. PJ?
Pretty much the same thing. I like her if you have mind control pieces, but even then, most of them are kind of lackluster.
Also, the only reason to play the next figure on the list.
Speaking of the next figure on the list, it's the best piece in the set. We have Artie. He has traded mind control, and he has some keywords that are not X-Men. Michael, what do you think of Artie?
Autoplay, hands down. Please just don't play it unless for some reason you're building a theme team with X Factor or New Mutants or something. Like, just don't.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I was going to say. PJ, how much do you love Artie?
He's cute. Like, I mean, I like his look. He's an adorable little kid, right? Otherwise, he's completely garbage.
Devin, do you have an irrational like of Artie?
Like I said during the Mario one, yeah, if you get Prime Moira and he's your only mind control, maybe. Even then, it's still only 4 range with stealth and 9 attack, so you're probably not going to get to hit with it.
Hey, you can boost that to a 5 or to a 10 with Moira, though.
Yeah, that's true. Yep. Yeah, he's not playable unless, I mean, again, if you have a Generation X, New Mutants, X Factor theme team that you need somebody to use theme probs for, at least he has stealth, so he's kind of harder to kill than some of the other options, but don't play him unless that's the case.
Hey, Devin, if you have Prime Emma, he has a 2 damage.
Woohoo! 2 whole damage.
Oh, man. Husk is the first character we have with a Generation X trait. Power, move to 5 squares and make a close attack. Doesn't seem to be affected by hindering because you're not using the movement value. It just says move to 5 squares. So you can be out of hindering with it and to move to 5. And then she has her whole dial free, pick a standard defense power. Otherwise, she has sidestep to facilitate move and attack and shape change. She does stuff. Can't remember who's supposed to go first this time. I think Devin?
Sure. Yeah, she is very hard to kill. Having both sidestep and effectively charge, although you can't use objects, so it's a little worse, is nice. She doesn't do a lot of damage. If you're facing a Darwin, she sucks, but hopefully you won't be facing too many of those in sealed. Yeah, she's okay. not an autoplay. If you're playing a Generation X theme team, then you'll probably have to include her because I doubt you're getting that many Generation X characters.
Michael?
She's honestly pretty good, at least from experience in Sealed of fighting against her. Typically, she gets one good hit in, and then she's just an annoying piece that keeps sticking next to you to stop you from trying to break away to do range attacks. And if they get rid of your Pinsai or your Exploit or whatever, they can just pick Imperv and just soak everything for all game. And it's just really frustrating. And it's like you want to hit her hard, but then you have to be careful because you can get her to plasticity. So then she's really making you stuck next to her. And then she's just picking Invincible or Imperv or whatever. That click 2 18 defense, plasticity, pick defense is really gross tie-up.
PJ?
Yeah, she's a good tie-up piece. I don't like that she loses shape change when she gains plasticity, but that's just being picky. I'd probably play her if I open her. Not something I force, but definitely something I'm wanting to play if I'm a ranged heavy team so I can tie up their close combat pieces to keep them off.
Yeah, I've played her a couple of times. She does stuff. I wish she didn't lose shape change at the same time as she gets the 18. I'd rather just keep the 18. But I don't think I've ever played against Leech or whatever with her, so she never had that problem. But even then, she's only 40 points with like a 7 square charge, and then she can do stuff still. I don't know. I think she's fine. Don't force yourself to play her, but still, she's probably worth it. And moving on, we have one of the 3 cuckoos, Celeste, who has the X-Student trait, X-Men keyword, X-Men team ability, and then a shared trait, kind of. She has Perplex, but only if the different cuckoos are within 3 squares, and she can only perplex herself. So if you have 2 different cuckoos, they can each perplex themselves. And this one starts with mind control, super senses, and then she has the same stop click with, I think she's supposed to have Battle Fury.
Yeah, the other 2 both do.
Does she not?
I guess it's possible she doesn't.
It's possible.
No, I think she does. I feel like it was on her dial when I was playing against you. I think that's just a coding error.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, she has a stop click with Impervious, can't be healed. So for 50 points, she's kind of the worst cuckoo because there's at least a TK one or a Psychic Blast one, but still, she has a decent stop click. I don't know. I wouldn't force myself to play her, but I can see her doing decently-ish, maybe. Michael?
I don't like her at all. I mean, if you're forced to because your pack is bad, I guess you can try to have fun with your opponent's pieces with mind control. But, I mean, you have to pull 2 of them to even get your perplexes, so I'd pass on it usually.
PJ?
Probably don't play it unless you hit Moira Prime. But even then, meh.
Yeah, that's fair.
I agree that she's the worst of the sisters.
Yeah. Yeah, the stop click's kind of nice. That's it. And she is meant to have Battle Fury.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. I will let my units friends know about that because I do not actually do that myself. We have the second of the cuckoos. We have Mindy, similar trait, special defense power, all that stuff, but she has like 5-tip Psychic Blast to start. Willpower the whole way through, which is interesting. Good for theme props when she loses her good attack values. What are your thoughts, PJ?
I like her. She's my favorite one of them, just because sidestep is incredible. She's got a decent range, decent attack value. X-Student, super useful. And yeah, that's it.
Devin?
Having a stop click on your 5-click ranged attacker with no real defenses is nice. I agree that she's probably the best of the 3. TK is nice, but there's so much other TK in this set that Phoebe probably is not your best bet for TK. Yeah, I like her. She's definitely a good fit for X-Men teams.
Michael?
I honestly don't have anything else to say. Y'all kind of said it.
How come you have your screen sharing?
What was that?
How come you're screen sharing?
I don't know.
Okay. Either way, we then go to the Lost Cuckoo, Phoebe, who starts with TK and willpower. Same stuff as all the rest of them. Same last stop click, same traits, and whatnot. Yeah, like I said with Jean Grey, she's 50-point TK. Unless you have her and Mindy together, probably a pass. She just doesn't do much outside of the TK, and there's so many better options in this set. Devin?
If your TK options are her or Jean, you're probably playing her. Yeah, if you have Mindy as well, getting a perplex for both of them is nice. So then it might be worth using her over some other TK pieces. Yeah, she's not great. She has a stop click, which is awesome. That's it.
Sorry, it's hard jumping around from
the infinite.
It's difficult to jump around because I have to manually control what the camera looks at as well as go back to the dials and yeah.
If you open up if you open up like a split screen on your monitor or whatever, you can tell it to do application and tell it to only share that other screen.
Second. Oh yeah, application window. Oh no.
Wrong application.
Inception.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Do you want me to screen share it?
Yeah, I can't figure this out right now. I've never done this one before.
Here, I got it.
Moving on to more mediocrity. No, Sync is actually okay. He has Generation X trait. He moves up to 5 squares, makes a low attack. He has pick a power free, choose a friendly character within range, and choose a standard power they can use. He can use it, and if they have Gen X, he can use Flux in addition to the chosen power. And if all your other Generation X characters are dead, he can just say, I'm going to choose myself. I'm a character with Generation X, and I get full power. And then I get Perplex. Hooray! Michael?
I like him. I mean, if you have the right pieces, like I like to play him specifically with my homegirl Penance. That way you get that Perplex and good stuff going on. If you're going for that combo, he's really good. Otherwise, it really just depends on what powers you have access to. He's not bad. If you got the points, I'd absolutely play him.
PJ?
Not really a fan. I don't think he does enough, and I don't like that he's going to break theme probably always, because you're likely not going to open enough for a Gen X theme in 2 boosters. So this is another one of those I would never break theme for this guy.
Devin?
Yeah, I also wouldn't break theme for him, but in a couple of my sealeds, I haven't been able to build themes, and I put him on the team one of those times. And if you have other support powers, he's pretty good. I like copying Outwit with him. He can always grab Perplex, because technically it doesn't say another friendly character, so you can take his own willpower to take Perplex. And you can take TK, which is always awesome. But he's not an autoplay, and if I can build an X-Men theme team, I'm doing that instead.
Cool. I'm actually going to just stop with the faces and just do the dials because it's silly. I don't really need our faces right now. Moving on, we have who's next one? Anoli. He has X-Student. He has Reptilian Regeneration later. He has Regen, and then when he uses it and heals 2 or more clicks, give him a Transformation token. And then he gets +1 combat values for each Transformation token. And presumably, I hope that's supposed to last when he's not on the clicks, because otherwise you get to them, and then you heal off of it, and then you only have the stats when you're on later clicks.
You don't have that power otherwise, so I feel like it's only when you're on those clicks, which is the unfortunate part.
Useless then. PJ, what are your thoughts?
I think you probably don't play this guy. He doesn't really like, even if he's at +3 to all his combat values, he's still just kind of standing there getting beat on. So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he's kind of annoying-ish tie-up. He like lives longer than you'd expect. Like, I don't know. Like, he's like 25% maybe, just if I can feel like I can get good value out of him being annoying, but otherwise, yeah. If he had like shape change or something, that'd be pretty cool. Devin?
We have a nice endless tunnel again.
That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Anole is,
the worst.
like others said, not wonderful. He is 30 points with X-Men, so if you don't get anything else to fill in your points, he's nice. Also, if you have an old man Logan who gives out combat reflexes, he's kind of nice. You can just go grab an object and stand beside people and have 19 defense, so then he's good tie-up. Well, where he really isn't that great without it. And that did happen to me in one sealed, so he was decent there. But other than that, especially because of his regen thing not giving him the combat values on his top 2 clicks, he's not good.
Michael?
If you've got 30 points, use him as tie-up. I've seen him be a waste of points many times because people have thought that he was going to be really big, and then I have to explain you don't have that anymore. You just got off of it. And then they look at me very upset and call judge, and then
because it really seems like that's how it's supposed to work. It just isn't how it actually works.
Does that double slash mean anything?
That means it's 2 different clauses. Like, power does this as well as this, and they're separate.
Okay, but it doesn't mean anything about even if this is lost or anything.
But it's like, for him to get the tokens, he has to heal 2 or more. So unless you're on your last click and heal exactly 2, you're always going to heal off of it. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
They may errata it later, but for now, that's how it works.
Yeah. And then moving on, we go to Hellion, who is good. If Mike, we want to do that because we're just using your screen apparently.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hellion trait, which is not the most common in this set, but when he has an attack roll of 10 or more, it's penetrating, ex-student trait, and then he has TK, and then when he uses it, he takes 1 unavoidable, and then does it again at no cost. So he can double DK, he can triple TK, you can do it a bunch of times for reasons if you want to TK that many times and get onto your last click. Devin?
Yeah, double TK / triple if you want to, plus leadership, although the triple takes you off leadership, is amazing. He's definitely one of the better TK options in the set. Him and the ex-student, with depending on whether you have leadership or not, him or the other leadership, him or the ex-student taking an edge. His Hellion's trait isn't really going to be useful. He's not going to be doing much attacking. I like the character, and this is a pretty decent representation of him, so I'm a fan of that.
Michael?
I'm a big fan of him. Again, going back to what I was saying earlier, how I really liked that common Cyclops, there's been numerous times where I play this Hellion and I forego a theme team and play uncommon Cyclops, and then I also play common Cyclops. So you shoot out, get the +1s with common attacking first, and now your other one has a 12 attack, and you melt things in the set very easily if you have 2 attackers.
The Cyclops is damage, I think. Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, that one's damage.
So it's 4 damage.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, same idea.
11 attack, 4 damage. That's right. So you're doing more damage. You're hitting 3.
Cyclops doesn't have the X-Men keyword, I don't think.
No, he said it was breaking thing.
Right, but it
only boosts the X-Men.
Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yep. Yeah, because apparently none of the X Factor people who obviously were the original X-Men get X-Men keyword.
Yeah, this is a little weird with theme. PJ, what do you think about Hellion?
Hellion's good. I don't know how often you want to utilize the extra TKs because knocking him off a sidestep, drastically reduces his mobility. You definitely don't want to do it more than once because you don't want to lose the leadership. Because realistically, you're not just playing him for TK. He also brings that ever important leadership.
Yep, I've enjoyed that leadership option a lot, especially with sidestep to actually get where you need to be for it with also using TK non-free actions. Now we have Rusty, that character that everybody knows and loves. Has basically the equivalent of an older Clixed FX kind of power. So Psychic Blast, when he hits an opposing character, they get a fire token if they don't already have one. And then they have, those characters have at the beginning of your turn, deal this character one penetrating, and they get rid of the token when they move through water or clear. Michael's first for this one, I think.
Honestly, I am a fan of him. He's definitely a more strategic piece, knowing when the best moment is to strike. They have, say, for instance, the super rare magic or something, and they have to clear. That's when you go in, because either you're just getting to pummel them over and over and over, or they're getting out of there, so then they're going to take that extra penetrating. I've actually lost a couple of support pieces to the burn from Rusty, because they hit me when I was clear, and I had to take a turn to move and then another turn to be able to clear, so that extra damage really puts in work. Plus, if you're just using him defensively, he's got barrier, which there's a couple in the set, but it's not huge, and that can set up some really good, I need to clear, and then I can go in next turn, but I don't want to get hit place.
PJ?
Yeah, 40-point barrier is exactly what I'm looking at, with the ability to do more. But realistically, I probably push him, so he's on sidestep barrier, because that's just really, really good. So I think you definitely play this guy. Obviously, I wouldn't break theme for him, but he does have a bunch of keywords, so it's a plus.
Yeah. Devin?
Yeah, the fire token power is amazing. You not being able to get rid of it unless you already have an action token is not fun, but definitely makes it a more potent power for use. Barrier is amazing. Breaks X-Men theme, which kind of sucks, but definitely a good piece all around. Although a character no one cares about.
Yeah, and with Rusty, we also have Skids, who does some things. Ignores characters from movement, and then has good old barrier and 18 defend. At the beginning of your turn, you can knock back an adjacent opposing character 1 square. And with that in mind, we're going to try and go through these a little more quickly because it's already been an hour. PJ, what do you think about Skids?
A better 40-point barrier piece.
Defend is great in this set at 18 because a lot of characters don't have 18 defense, and barrier is awesome, and she starts with sidestep, so you don't have to push her to get her onto it, and she ignores characters for movement, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, I played her in Sealed, and I wasn't going to have theme anyway. And being able to defend things that start with 17 and hide behind them, or stand behind them, is just good. And if your opponent happens to hit her to those mid-dial clicks, she's not a good attacker, but she's like a little surprisingly effective, I guess. And annoyingly high defense numbers all the way through. Michael?
Again, 40-point barrier with sidestep starting out is nice. The knockback, depending, can be relevant because there are pieces you don't want to be sitting in hindering or not sitting next to walls and stuff like that. And if you manage to finagle your positioning and everything just right, you can get some stuff out of it. But you're usually hiding behind people to give them harder to hit defenses.
And we move on to Mystique as an ex-student, apparently. So you have the ex-student trait, and you have this special damage power all the way through. Posing as a student, shape change. If she's adjacent to an opposing character, she can't be attacked by non-adjacent characters. So decent offenses to start, knowing to hit, 50 base. She can't be targeted by other characters from range, and then she picks up stealth and reflex to be more annoying to hit. She's solid, I think. I'm not saying she's an autoplay, but she's still, she's fine. Devin?
Yeah, this is from a run where she infiltrates the academy disguised as a student to try to seduce Gambit to take him away from Rogue, so that was interesting. The figure, I don't like that she pushes off charge, but other than that, she's awesome. 2 rollouts, can't be shot when she's next to somebody, so you can tie up their ranged attackers and not have you be able to be attacked other than that. Also, I played her with Old Man Logan, which was awesome because not being able to be shot and having a 19 defense in close is great.
Michael?
She's a great tie-up piece. I could see if someone decides that they want to give Chameleon a try again, she might be a decent disguise for him too. But, I mean, I like her. She's got the X-Men keyword. That's what's super relevant about it. And blades can decimate if you roll well. So,
yeah, PJ?
I like full dial blades, and I like Brotherhood of Mutants team ability. So I would probably play her if I opened her.
Yep. So with Mystique, we've finished the comments. That's all the figures you're pretty much guaranteed to see. So now, these are the pieces that you might not necessarily see, but they are still uncommon. They're very likely. So we have the Beast. His first class trait gives everybody +1 attack, and he has a modified Quake, where if he uses it, it's either +1 attack or damage dealt is +1. So if he's multi-targeting, it's 3, or if he's single target quaking, it's 4. Which I think, or 11 attack Quake, which I think is just good all around, especially with giving your whole team +1 attack. I think it's just good. Michael?
oh, I love this piece. I, again, use it in conjunction with that common Cyclops all the time. Hit with Cyclops to give him the +1 and then put that +1 into damage and just quake the heck out of people, smack them into walls, do all kinds of damage. And then you push him, and you're okay with pushing him because you push him onto Perplex, which becomes super relevant as well. And then there's been a lot of times where that late dial Empower is extremely relevant because they have pieces that we were talking about earlier, like Husk, that's picking Invincible. And if you don't have the access to that +1 and you only have 2, you're not killing it without a crit hit. So that gives you the chance to be able to try to finish out the game.
Yep. BJ?
It's better than the common one, so that's a plus. Otherwise, I don't really think he's that great. I think you only play him if you have to. Pushing under Perplex is nice, but there's already an absurd amount of Perplex in this set, so it's kind of overkill. So yeah.
I was also having similar feelings because there's just so much many headmasters, and the dial isn't super. I mean, it's not short, but it doesn't feel so long with only 17 toughness. So pushing, it feels like he's just asking to die at that point. But what do you think, Devin?
I like him a lot. I just really like 3 damage Quake to everybody. And if he's the first one to make an attack, that's 11 attack too. Although obviously you have to hit first, so doesn't really matter for him, but for other people. And he's super pushable, which is great. Yeah, pretty easy to kill, but with the lack of reducers in this set, 3 damage Quake can be pretty devastating.
And I should probably mention I'm kind of biased to the pushing to Perplex because in the 4 seals I've done, I've never pulled a Headmaster.
Huh.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's possible.
That being said, we got to move on to another version of Iceman. This one is the first class version, and he gets +1 defense. And he has Incapacitate, and when he uses it, it's either +1 attack, or he gives them the character mobile until the next turn. Can't be moved or replaced, which is pretty self-explanatory. We start off with, I believe, TJ.
Play the common. Not this one. Not a fan. I think the common's just better. single target end cap is not anything to write home about. So, yeah, I think this beats scrap. So,
Yeah, weird how the more common version is just way better. Devin?
Yeah, he's not very good. His X-Men first class trait is kind of nice. Defense +1 to everybody is pretty good. I did play him on my team that I won the sealed with, but only because I didn't have another option for X-Men. I would have played pretty much any other 50-point X-Men over him. Single target.
Michael?
Play the common, absolutely. Unless you really want those keywords for some reason.
Yeah, that is the thing about the common. No X-Men keyword.
Yeah. Now we have the uncommon Cyclops, who's the X Factor version. He has that trait, and he has improved targeting hindering, which is not very common in this set. Sidestep all the way through. Psychic Blast, it shifts into range combat expert, leadership to start. I think he's pretty solid. I mean, he should be leadershiping most of the stuff in the set. A lot of the more common stuff in the set, even without shared keywords. Good stats with penetrating is good if you're facing random stuff that has reducers, and self-busting is always good, although there's not much of that either. Devin starts on Cyclops again, funnily enough.
Yeah, 11 attack, 3 damage, leadership, stealth busting. He's good. He's not amazing, but he is extremely good. And the X Factor trait is awesome, especially for ranged characters who are generally going to get it to make a few more attacks.
Michael?
Willpower is extremely relevant in this set. He has willpower with 11 attack, 3 damage Pinsai. If you have any other leadership that is similar, you're going to be able to make attacks constantly, either with him or him leadershiping someone else. I like this piece a lot because I like to push, and I don't like to take damage for doing it.
PJ?
I like him. The improved targeting is pretty irrelevant. Like, there's exactly 1.5 figures with flat dial stealth.
Artie.
I say half because of low dial Professor X has it top click.
Dark Beast.
Is it built into his trait?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about a chase and a rare prime.
And an Artie.
And Artie, yes. The most relevant piece.
Like, he's still good. I still think you probably play him, but I wish that the improved targeting on hindering was more relevant. I guess.
And full point SR Prime White Queen, actually.
And Chase Angel.
You're making this even easier.
Yeah, you're right. And Chase Angel. So 2 chases, a rare prime, and a super rare prime.
Yeah, and Artie.
And Artie.
And Artie.
You're gonna see on the map against you.
And late dial Mystique.
Well, there's a bunch of pieces with it late dial.
Yeah.
But
it's interesting how he seems to almost be built for a different set in mind. Because the penetrating isn't going to matter as much. The leadership isn't as good because there's just so much in the set, and yeah.
Getting rid of the +1 defense, so he's more likely to hit is nice.
Yeah, and I guess like you can bring Wakanda, so
yeah,
maybe being able to ignore Wakanda while they still have to deal with it is good. I guess lets you open to this guy and just be happy.
Yeah. That's it for this Cyclops. Now we have, surprisingly, another version of Jean Grey. X Factor trait 1. She also has leadership, sidestep TK, super sensitive, gets end dial pulse wave, half her dial is perplexed into the leadership. I think she's okay. She's definitely better than Marvel Girl. There's no doubt about that. But Michael, what do you think?
Too expensive, in my opinion. I don't want to dump 60 points into her. I'd much rather play other TKers or other leadershippers. If you're going for X Factor, she's great. I mean, she can leadership that Cyclops we were just looking at, so that's kind of cool. But unless you're going for the theme, try to find a better option.
PJ?
I wouldn't play her. Again, it's she's probably breaking theme, and like she's okay. Like I like sidestep TK. I like the synergy there. She's got a pretty deep dial, but she's not really bringing a whole lot to the table.
Evan?
Yeah, TK leadership is nice, but if she's going to break your theme, don't play her. If you have pretty much any other TKer in the set except Marvel Girl, don't play her.
Poor Marvel Girl.
Poor Marvel Girl.
Yeah, we switched over to a really, really good piece. We have Cypher, who is the first character we see with the new mutant trait, which is the beginning of the turn if he's next to a friendly character with new mutants. You can heal him one click, but you can't make attacks that turn. But if you're at clearing, or if you have other stuff to do that's not attacking, it's still fine. It's a nice, essentially free option. He has a special trait where, depending on how many points you pay for him, he KOs, or doesn't KO. Stop with invincible, can't be healed above for the rest of the game. If you pay the higher points for him, and he starts off with protected outwit for chasing friendly characters and friendlies within 3 with new mutants. PJ, what do you think about Cypher?
I think he's pretty sweet. I would play him at the 70-point dial. There's actually a lot of outwit in this set. A lot of top dial outwit on this set. So being able to protect your squad while you're creeping up, and then just moving him in. You're gonna probably have to push him because I think any player with half a brain will not attack him to the stop click. So you'll have to get him there yourself. But once you do, like his values are just incredible. So I think you would just absolutely play this guy if you open him.
Yeah, Invincible is already so hard to shoot through in this set, and having a shape change on top of that and plasticity, unless you have a Professor X non-prime, in which case he's worthless.
And then,
Yeah, I can speak for it.
Last week, step 13-5. Okay, sure. Why not?
Yeah, I've had him attack with 14 attack.
Like for 70 points with a good set of traits and powers and stuff. So,
Evan?
I pulled nothing at 1 except for 2 of these guys, so I played 2 of these guys. It was awesome. It won me 2 of my games, except, like Jay said, against the non-prime rare Professor X, because you walk up and then he mind controls you and you walk away again, and then you walk up and he mind controls you and you walk away again, and he shoots you on your way back, or other people do. So that game sucked, but the other 2 I wiped pretty easily, despite crit missing on the last click. While needing a 3 in one of them. But yeah, I love them. And if you have 2 of them, the new mutants trait synergizes really well because you're going to be poisoning most of the time, and they can just heal each other.
Michael?
Yeah, I mean 70 points for sure. 35. I'm not gonna try to break my theme just for that. But getting him down past that red line is when he gets really fun. Plus, he's a Hellion, so if you happen to pull other things that are Hellion, he can be really nice. Carry him up with like the Icarus and stuff like that.
But no Hellion's trait.
Yeah.
Well, that would just be too good. Can you imagine a 6 penetrating?
Oh, I mean, it would be extremely good. Don't get me wrong, that would be ridiculous.
Yeah. Also, plasticity poison, especially in this set, like that, just even that first stop click is just so good.
Yeah.
But we've spoken enough about how great Cypher is. Moving on, we have Karma, who has the new mutant trait, so healing. She has triple target mind control, and that's about it. I think triple target mind control is pretty decent in this set because there's so many small things. She's gonna hit. Shape change isn't the best defense power, but she has enough range that she shouldn't be able to be hit all the time. Like, I wouldn't force it, but I would definitely consider playing her. We start with Devin this time.
Yeah, I don't like her very much. Triple target mind control is great, but on a 4-click character with dubious defenses, not so much. I wouldn't play her because she's probably breaking your theme, unless you pulled very bad characters other than that.
Michael?
New Mutants theme team, sure, I guess. Otherwise, I'm gonna pass.
PJ?
Pass.
Yeah, Karma's getting no love.
Really, I'm the voice of dissent. We have Magneto non-prime. He is headmaster for New Mutants, so he bugs his New Mutants, all that stuff. Starts off with Force Blast, TK Energy Shield, gets late Dalable Power Outwit. I think he's okay. I mean, again, 50 points for TK, not much else outside of he has good defenses. There's not much going on here. Although, the fact that he does have the X-Men keyword is notable for the leadership if you have something really big that you want to be pulling tokens off of. But I'm probably not reaching for him. Michael?
Yeah, I mean, you covered it. He gets a little more relevant once someone's decided they're going to hit him, because he'll probably survive one hit and then he lands on the outwit. But he loses literally everything else that he has. But the X-Men leadership is nice. I just wish the Perplex could actually hit X-Men instead of New Mutants.
Yeah, I ended up playing him one time on a X-Men theme team with literally no New Mutants. He did okay, but yeah, he's whatever. PJ?
Probably don't play him. If I open it, it's just a 50-point TK piece with EST. Woo.
And Force Blast.
Yeah, because that'll be relevant.
Devin?
In terms of 50, not exactly 50 points, but in terms of TK pieces in this set, he definitely ranks below X-Student and Hellion, but above Marvel Girl and, to me, above Uncommon Jean Grey because he actually has X-Men keyword. The not having sidestep isn't great, but I would say he's better than those two. So if you don't pull a Hellion or a X-Student, definitely playable as a TK piece. And good defenses at the top tile.
Yep. We move on to Prime Magneto.
I love this piece.
Definitely a little bit better. He's the first flyer we've seen in the set. He has Indom, which I think is the first Indom we've seen.
Yeah.
Brotherhood of Mutants team ability, which is really, really, really good now. He has a trait.
What does it do now?
What?
If you roll a 10, you don't take a token. If you roll a 10 or higher on your attack, you burn a token.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. So he starts. He has a trait. When he attacks New Mutants or X-Men, +1 attacking damage, and when he KOs said characters, roll d6, 50/50 chances he takes one unavoidable. But I think it's actually good because he can get into running shot pulse wave, which is awesome. Starts off with White King of the Hellfire Club, which is leadership, and he gives other friendly characters with Hellfire Club essentially self-reflex, rolling for attack and defense. Not relevant, really, because there's not much Hellfire Club. And then Grey King of the Hellfire Club, which is what he gets. Yeah. I forgot that one of them was a prime. The defense power only works for Hellfire Club characters, so basically not relevant. The stats are really good, and then you take into account the trait for the extra stats. Pulse Wave, later dial stealth, psychic blast. Every single good click is good here. He's dirt cheap for what all that. And he carries. I think he's the only uncommon or below that carries, although he's a prime, so he's not really that easy to get. But I think he's pretty much an auto play. I don't really see a situation where you don't play him outside of a better prime, which is only Professor X. But even then, I don't know.
I'd say Super Rare Prime Emma is up there too.
No, I play this guy over Emma.
Absolutely.
Like everything you attack in the set, you're at +1/+1.
Yeah, that's true.
I wish his white powers did anything. There's literally one.
Just super rare.
Yeah.
Non-prime Emma.
And she's absolutely terrible piece.
She is.
Yeah.
Just don't play. Like, it's literally he has 2 white powers that do nothing. Like, he has a leadership. And, like, his defense power isn't even a defense power. Like, it's a blank spot. And it's other Hellfire Club. It's not even himself. He can't even use it at all. So,
yeah, it would be nice if he could use it.
His guile is the only saving grace about this piece.
Oh, anybody
Infuriates
else
me.
I'm trying to add beyond you definitely play him?
I mean,
Yeah, you play it. It's just you be upset about it while you play it.
Yeah, it's like, I'm playing you because I'm going to melt your entire team, but I really don't want to, because if you hit me hard, I'm going to cry.
Yeah, he's another TK leadership, except he's also 12-5 against the majority of the set.
Yeah.
You're playing him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, unless your opponent somehow has no X-Men, which is then do they have
or
other
no
powers?
new
Or
mutant
New
or
Mutant.
X-Men. Like,
Yeah, that too.
half the set, at least.
Factor.
More.
But then
Yeah,
you still
they have an
X stop Pulse Wave, which is
So yeah, you play him. But moving on, we have one of the more talked about characters in the set, which is Leech. So everybody knows what he does, but even so, he has the trait: if your opponent will pick a power, you choose a power that they don't pick first. And then the outwit, and if he uses it, and if they're within 4, you can use it again. So you can basically outwit everybody within 4. My question is he worth breaking theme over? I know you pretty much want to play him, but do you do it if you're going to be breaking theme? PJ?
it's tough because like you have to have very particular pieces to ever want to break theme in this set because I think there's one prob in the whole set. So it's tough to want to break theme. But if playing theme means you have a bad team, just break theme and play him plus something else that would break theme, but don't ever just do it to play Leech. But if you can fit him, play him.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, you're the top dollar problem. You're right, but I think Mr. Sinister Chase gets it.
Yeah, and Magic, and both Magics get it as well.
Right. I
Mid dial though.
Yeah. The top dial is just Gateway, as far as I know.
And Gateway's awesome.
Yeah, yes.
I love Gateway.
Kevin?
Yeah. He's good for sure. Outwit is always nice. Stealth means they can't kill him ultra easily, although there's a lot of close combat and Generation X traits and stuff in this set that could make that a little easier. It depends if you're going to be 30 points under if you don't play him. It's probably better to break theme than to play 30 under. But yeah, his damage power is really good. His trait probably doesn't matter all that much. There's not that much pick power. Could matter against like Husk if you don't want her picking Invincible or something.
I mean, you're playing him regardless, and then if it happens to come up...
Yeah. No, it's nice, for sure.
Yeah. I've pulled him 2 different times. One time I didn't have theme anyway, so I played him. The other time I had a good theme, so I didn't play him. I didn't really regret it, because all the theme probs in map roll were really good. So, yeah, he's potentially worth considering breaking theme over, but otherwise, yeah, you're probably better off with potentially 5 probs and a +5 to map roll. Michael?
Agreed. I'll play him if I pulled the ID card too. I'll play him for 3 points all day. But
this isn't my case, but I did pull the 2 of them together, so it is possible.
I mean, again, if you have the room, sure. Or I guess if you did happen to get a lot of the X Factor stuff, you could stick with theme. That's going to be pretty much the only decent theme you can make involving him in the set, and it's going to be really hard to do.
Yeah, it's fair. Moving on from him, we have Mercury, who has Hellions, so penetrating if she rolls a 10 or more. An X-Student, which is, we know what that does. I think she's pretty, I think that's stealth top dial. I think she's pretty respectable, hard to hit, does damage. Her late dial gets really scary, especially with plastic. It's hard to tell. I think it's plasticity.
Yeah, it is.
It's full dial plasticity.
Yep.
Yeah, so potentially full dial penetrating. So use an object, top dial, or just penetrating blades. I think she's, for her points, you play her.
And X-Men keyword.
Or yeah, she can theme prob. She's really hard to hit. She has the X-Student trait just to be useful even when she's not doing anything. Like, not autoplay, but it's just good to play. Michael?
I love the fact that she's consistent. She only ever goes down 1 defense and 1 movement, and you're not going to be moving once you're where you need to be anyway. And if someone does hit you, again, most likely you're getting hit for 3, you're still alive, and you're exploit bladesing them. So you're doing penetrating if you roll a 10 early, you're doing penetrating if you're late.
PJ?
I like her, and just to add to everything you guys have been saying, 3 range is actually like low-key really, really good on a piece that doesn't have any movement attack, because that is exactly enough range to hit after a sidestep breakaway. So
Yeah.
she can still follow up with a shot if they break away.
Devin?
I'm going to keep mentioning how good tie-up pieces are if you pull super rare Old Man Logan. With 2 rollouts and a 19 defense, awesome. Anyway, she's really good. 2 rollouts. If she gets hit, again, she is probably just going down to her last click and then getting penetrating blades, which is pretty awesome. She's great.
Yeah, and it's not like there's so much poison in the set that you have to worry about that kind of thing. Like, she is going to be hard to hit. There's not, and they're not wasting out wit on her unless they really want to score the point, and then that's like, I don't know. I think she's just overall pretty great.
35 points.
Yeah. Jubilee, one of the few running shot pieces we've seen so far.
Dude, she's a sleeper pick.
Oh, totally. She has Generation X trait, which you're probably never using unless you... I don't know when you'll be using it, but it exists.
If you have no movement attack and they're behind a wall.
It's very rare, but it's nice to have.
Yeah, it can happen.
And then, in addition to her running shot, she gets Energy Explosion, and in addition, she gets hit targets are -1 attack and defense. She pushes on to Reflex, but I don't know how often you're going to want to push her in a set that has all the headmasters and you lose move and attack and 1 attack and just overall whatever. Yeah, being able to debuff all those characters, yeah, I like it a lot. But what do you think, PJ?
You absolutely play her. She's going to be on theme pretty much always, and she has pretty good values for 50 points and brings a lot to the table. So, yes, play Jubilee.
Devin?
Play Jubilee. That's all.
Michael, do you have a dissenting opinion?
I've used the Generation X power with her, and it was extremely relevant because they pinched themselves into a way to where I couldn't actually get to them with the Energy Explosion, and if I didn't kill that piece, it was going to kill me. So 10 attack, 3 damage after 5 movement charge when she only has 8 movements. Kind of nice.
Yeah, it's randomly good, especially on the second or third click if you have a pure attack, whatever going. It doesn't look like it adds that many points to her, so it's just kind of a free thing, I feel like. Next we have Mondo, who is very one of the more situational pieces in this set because he's so map roll reliant. He ignores hindering terrain, Gen X trait, a free teleport power as his movement power. If he's in hindering terrain that's printed, you can place him into a square of printed hindering within 5, no line of fire required. He has a defense power, which is base toughness, but he gets vulnerability if he's in hindering, or impervious if you're next to blocking terrain. So if your opponent can pick a map that really doesn't agree with him, it's 70 points for toughness. Like, there's not going to be a map with no hindering, but if you're... What does he have, the X-Men? He doesn't have X-Men, so you're not playing him on theme, probably.
He was even in Generation X for, like, 1 comic, and then it turned out it was a clone. Like, he's not a relevant character at all.
Right, but as far as playability goes...
Yeah.
Like, the invulnerability is not bad, but if your opponent wants to just give him impervious, but a map where he can't teleport as much, like, I feel he's just way situational, unless you happen to have a theme team with him. But feel free to disagree with me, and we'll start with Devin, because he seems to care so much about the character.
I like Generation X, but Mondo was not a huge part of the run. And I haven't read all of the run because it's not available anywhere. Mondo, if you somehow get a good Generation X theme team, which is possible with M, he's playable. But even then, your opponents probably have X-Men theme teams, and you don't really get that much of a bonus. So, not very good. Probably don't play him.
Michael?
Don't sleep on the fact that he has super strength and could hit you for more damage than other pieces can. Yeah, it does suck if you lose map roll and they just put you somewhere where he's not relevant. But if they don't do that, they make that mistake because they didn't think about this specific figure when bringing their maps. He can be pretty relevant, hopping around everywhere. They think they're safe behind a wall, hop over that wall to them and smack them with super strength. I mean, he's not autoplay by any means. He's most likely breaking theme, but if you've got nothing better and you really feel like you need that close combat piece, I'd play him.
PJ?
I will never play this piece. I wouldn't pay 70 points for a piece that you're going to use half the time. Even if you can manage theme, it's fair to assume that they're also going to be on theme.
Yeah.
You have a tied map roll, and it's pretty easy to assume if you lose map that he's going to be less relevant than he should, and it's not worth 70 points. Like if this guy was like a couple clicks shorter and like 30 points.
Yeah, and the super strength isn't that useful a lot of the time because they're probably not going to stand next to hindering or in hindering when he's around. So he's going to have to use his Generation X trait to attack, and he's not going to get to use his object.
Yeah.
That's right. He's not Rock Slide, is he?
No, he's not. No.
Rock Slide is a little better.
Yeah, I like Rock Slide. I don't like Mondo. Never mind.
We have a seemingly surprise champ text in the set because Penance was chosen by, I think, the 2016 UK national champion. She has Generation X trait, which is better on her because she has a Blades variant where she gets to use it with close attacks. So she can Gen X trait and use Blades. She has Battle Fury, the whole dial. She has good reducers. I really like her, but I feel like for 75 points, she's not quite. I'm going to play her if I see her, but I will definitely give her some consideration if I'm not already playing theme or if theme's not great or whatnot. Michael?
She's really strong. I'm not going to lie. Getting through those annoying shape change, super sense tie-up pieces is really great. And the fact that she has leap climb with that Generation X means if she wants to, she can run up to an elevation for 5 squares and then blades you up that elevation.
Those don't combo
together.
Yeah.
But doesn't
you have to specifically use.
You have to actually activate leap climb.
It's not passive.
It's a move action for leap.
Unfortunately.
You still get the benefit of attacking across elevation.
Yeah,
that's
what
I
can
like.
Attack uphill.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You can't move.
So you move 5 up to the elevation, and then you
that you can do
them.
Oh, I thought you meant like with the improvement, but okay, never mind.
No, I'm just talking about hitting them with that close attack when they thought they were safe.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of times people will shoot you from the rim and be like, "Ha, you can't melee me," and then it's like, "Oh."
Yeah, leap climb is a power.
PJ?
She's neat. I play her if I'm foregoing theme or I'm on Gen X, but otherwise I don't. She's not something you break theme for. She's not that good. Fairly deep dial with reducers all the way through, so that's always a plus.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you 100% there. Devin?
Yeah, I'm not breaking theme for her probably, but really cool dial. I love moving 5 and hitting with blades and having good reducers. It's nice.
Yeah. That is also nice because there's not a lot of mind control, but there's some, and there's also some...
And there's some shape change.
Yeah, there's some shape change on all the top dial, and there's also the triple target incapacitate Iceman in the common slot. So it's not like a super awesome thing in our favor, but it's just nice when it will kick in. Moving on, we have Skin, who is the elongated man of this set. He's Generation X, and he has plasticity, giant reach 2, and we've seen a bunch of this. He treats opposing characters within 2 as chasing for movement, so he ties them up within 2. Shape change and toughness defensively. He doesn't have much in the offensive department. Instead of just he has giant reach and damage values and whatever. I think he's okay. You're not breaking theme for him, and only having Gen X sucks, but yeah, he's iffy for me. I'm probably not playing him unless I happen to have Gen X as a theme, which is not happening. PJ?
I'm not playing this guy if I open him. He doesn't do enough. There's better tie-up pieces. even with his range plasticity.
Devin?
Yeah, if my best option for theme is Generation X, I'll play him. Other than that, not really. He's it's nice to not let people charge you or Generation X you or whatever. There's a lot of move and attack melee in this set, but there's also tons of range, so he's not like ridiculous.
Yeah, I've played I think 4 2 booster shield events at this point. I've never seen anybody play him. He's only uncommon. People told him. They're just choosing not to play him, and it's for a good reason. Michael?
Agreed. I've played numerous, and I have never seen this character be played. I honestly didn't realize it was in the set. It's that irrelevant.
Yeah.
And if I go to the WizKid Open this weekend and I see that sitting across from me, I'm happy because that means they wasted 50 points. Like, that's 50 points. I don't have to be afraid of really doing anything to me.
If he had stealth with that power,
That'd be totally different.
100%.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If he had stealth, he would be amazing. Well, not ridiculous.
Yeah.
Good.
But unfortunately, that's not what we're talking about. We have Surge, who has X Student, and she has either choose Hypersonic or range value of 6, and then when she does use that range, hit targets get an action token, but she only has one target, and I don't think there's a way to give her energy explosion, so yeah, she's not great, although X-Men is a keyword, but even so, she's not great. Devin?
I'm almost certainly going to play an X trainee over her. One more movement, one less damage, I guess, but Hypersonic with 9 movement is okay. 40 points. Willpower is kind of nice. She's good. She's not great.
Michael?
I would play her over the student, honestly. She's deeper. She has willpower. If you have the room to play her, she's awesome because she's hypersonic for 3 damage. But I mean, she's cool. She has X-Men team ability, which is nice because it seems like every time I want it, I don't have it. Like I have one piece and I don't have that second one that I don't mind getting damaged.
PJ?
I like her. I definitely play her. I think I disagree with Michael about the X trainee thing. I think I prefer trainee over her, but knowing myself, I probably just play both. So I like any hypersonic piece, considering there's very few in the set. It's just really hard for some opponents to deal with.
Yeah,
and he has fairly reasonable values.
We have Oya or Ouya or Oh Yeah, depending on if you're a video game nerd or a wrestling nerd.
I don't even know why they called this character that, because like that's technically her code name, but nobody ever calls her that. It's always just Itty.
Yeah, so she has improved targeting, can shoot in and out of adjacency, X student trait, and special tag power. She hits 2 characters with a range attack. After actions, whatever, she deals 1 penetrating damage to one and 1 token to the other. She's fine. I've seen her played, and she does stuff. I just feel like she'll just, with that top tile barrier, she's just asking to be hit, and we have lost TJ for some reason, and hopefully he returns quickly. If somebody wants to message him, that'll be appreciated.
I got you.
I think she's okay. I'm not saying she's bad. She's whatever. Devin?
Yeah.
Serious.
Having
he's back already. Okay.
Having 2 targets, dealing 1 penetrating damage to one and giving the other an action token is great, but having to hit both kind of sucks, because if there's only 1 target available, she becomes significantly worse. Her defense, barrier is obviously great, but if she's attacking that turn, it's not a defense power, basically. She's good. I would play some other ranged attackers over her probably, but she's quite good.
Michael?
I've won games because of her. They go in and hit one of my pieces. I then lock them down. It's pretty relevant, especially when you have the pieces that do have those pick a power defenses. They tend to like to go for imperv. And so hitting the penetrating on them and then double actioning the other, it gives you that time you need to get away. Or she sits in the back, you range a bunch of people, and then you barrier yourself and just go, ha, come to me. So I like her. If I have the room for her, I'm absolutely going to play her, but I'm not going to like build around her by any means.
Yeah, I was playing against her one time, and my opponent would not stop hitting leadership roles, so she was just a consistent pain. PJ?
I think she's okay. She's not an autoplay or something that you ignore when you open. If you can fit her, great. If not, don't force it. I think she's just right on that cusp where she's playable but not stable.
Does your cat have any input?
He's just headbutting my face right now.
And then for our last uncommon slot figure, we have another Headmaster, which is Kitty Pryde. She has Headmaster for both All New X-Men and X-Men. And she has phasing stealth, and they can friendly characters can move through walls adjacent to her, so she can open up some annoying with kids' offices or some whatever those kind of maps. But I just feel like for the points, you're basically paying 50 points for maybe a good map manipulation kind of thing, and the Headmaster trait. Like I feel she's just overcosted for what you get for her, unfortunately. PJ?
She's okay. Kind of like what you said. She's a little overcosted, but you're playing her. She can do the perplex on All New X-Men or X-Men, so that's a plus. And she has top dial stealth. So yeah, she's okay. Again, if you really want the leadership in perplex, she's fine. Like I don't scoff at somebody that plays her, but I probably don't try to fit it.
Devin?
I mean, yeah, she's not spectacular. If you have a really large X-Men team and you're going to get map a lot of the time, having that kind of advantage on like WizKid's office of being able to move through walls when your opponent can't is pretty awesome. But if you're not going to be winning map roll, then she's basically just a leadership and perplex for 50 points, which isn't really enough.
Michael?
Agreed. I think it would be a little more relevant if it said can move through blocking terrain adjacent to her. The fact that it's specifically walls, you can't get through barrier, you can't get through printed blocking. I mean, I would probably play her just because I've never gotten to play with a Headmaster, and that perplex would be nice. But like if I'm trying to win Lockjaw, she's not my go-to piece.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, you're not building around her for sure.
So that wraps up the uncommon. So that's basically the pieces that you're absolutely pretty much guaranteed to see. And we move on to the rares with Angel. He is X-Men First Class, and his is for speed, which I don't think is really that relevant because there's not as much movement attack in this set. I mean, if it works for you, like if you have random hypersonic, whatever, it's fine, but not the most relevant. But he's still good because of his awesome attack power, which is Precision Strike, and we make the close attack modify either attack +1 or damage +1. So he's definitely hitting with Precision Strike to make sure the damage goes through, even if there are reducers. And he has good speed, and he's one of the few taxis we've seen so far with a 12 speed, so he can be taxiing. It can be carrying and charging at the same time. He doesn't have moving for it, and pushing for Flux is good, especially when he has really good stats. So he could potentially be like 11-3, really good charge swing, and helps the rest of your team. It's just there's so few taxis in this set that just he automatically gets a little bit more recognition because of it. Devin?
Yeah, he's 50 points. He has 18 defense. If you give him a light object, that's either 10-4 or 11-3 with his attack power. 6 movement charge, pushes onto perplex, and then he can go up to a 19 defense super senses. Precision Strike is great because there's tons of super senses in this set. I mean, there is in most sets. And if they grab reducers, he can still do damage. I like him a lot.
Michael?
I'm a big fan. Flight is pretty relevant in this set, especially if you're taking maps with elevation and you get to manipulate the fact that you're able to get around it and they can't. Again, you can carry someone up, leadership him, turn around, charge carrying someone. You're still moving 5 with that charge. Seems pretty good. And then, like I said, I'm a big fan of the pushing to perplexes because, well, I need it. I wish his thing wasn't speed, though. That's the only issue that I have. Except PJ probably likes it because it makes his trainee even better.
You're not wrong.
Do you agree with this, PJ?
This piece is an autoplay. Like, if you open it and don't play it, you're wrong. Like, there's no think of any situation where you don't play this piece if you open it.
You pull Iceman.
It doesn't. You play him with Iceman. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, that's still 225 points. Like, there's no situation that you don't play this angel. The 12 move with flight is just absurd. With a distinct amount of lack of flight in this set. And you definitely push him because you don't really lose anything. Your charge range is the same and your attack defense damage doesn't change. You just gain a perplex. So, yeah, autoplay.
Moving on to Storm, who has Headmaster for X-Men. She's a super awesome taxi for X-Men because she has passengers free for them. Again, TK, but she has other things. She's has respectable stats all the way around. The second click, sidestep, energy shield, range combat expert can do some work. Devin, what do you think of this Storm, who I specifically saved for you to go first on? Devin?
Yeah, Passenger is great. TK is good. X-Men Headmaster is awesome. She's not a spectacular figure on her own right. You're probably ignoring that willpower on the first click unless you need that TK still so that you can get to sidestep range combat expert. But she's a really good support piece in this set. Flying is awesome.
Yeah, I like that. Like Moira, she's an X-Men figure who you kind of want to take that damage anyway, but has willpower. So you just roll, and if you don't roll the damage, you just take the damage anyway. Michael?
Autoplay. She's a turn 2 Alpha Strike piece from hell for your opponent because you're carrying your major force and then you're throwing them at them to turn around and smack after perplexing them up. And yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you play her if you pull her?
Sheer anger about the sculpt being broken.
I've honestly never pulled her. I didn't actually get a case this time though, but in the sealeds I've done, I've only ever seen her once, and she's pretty good.
I did pull her, and she was intact. Amazing.
You're a liar, and I don't like you.
In 4 cases, I opened 5 of her, and 4 of them were broken. So she's the queen of, oh, look at that, I need a new booster, if your booster's terrible. Otherwise, yeah, she's good. I probably don't send back a booster with a broken Storm. I just deal with it because I think she's that good.
Nice. Moving on to the guy who does stuff, but not really in this particular environment. We have Darwin. Everybody knows what he does, but he has the X-Student trait, which I actually forgot about until just now because he does other things on top of that. It's nice. Instant adaptation trait. When he's targeted by an attack, choose a standard defense power. He gets to use it. This attack. And then when they pick a power, they take one of the avoidable after. Soft click with regen. Blah blah blah. He's tie up, and if your opponent has random pick a power, that's nice. But pretty much, I would play him as tie up. Michael.
I'm tired of pulling this piece in sealed. I'm so tired of pulling it. I think 3 out of 4 times one of my boosters got it. And every time I skipped them, I'd rather just play stuff that can actually be relevant for the game and actually do something. And then there's always at least one game during the tournament that I'm like, damn, I wish I had Darwin because you keep picking defense powers. So, I mean, if you happen to go against people that are playing things like Husk, like Prodigy, like whatever, then he's awesome. But otherwise, it's just luck of the dice. Did you go against someone that he's going to do anything, or did you waste 35 points this game?
Yeah, I was looking at him again today, and I only just today realized that his picket power thing doesn't say opposing.
Yeah, it hurts.
So what?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, I
Yeah.
didn't even realize that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's random and really annoying, and be careful about that if you are playing him as random tie up, whatever. PJ?
I actually like him more for sealed than I do constructed, just because he's really hard to deal with. Picking defense power every time he wants, and then having 2 stop clicks with regen on both creates annoyingness. Clearly, what makes him shine is the dolphin symbol. Sorry.
Did you play him in
You
Wakanda?
say that, but it actually came up for me in one game on the default X-Men map where I needed him to move through water. So you laugh, but it actually did work out for me one time.
I would play this guy if I opened him. He's got the right keywords, and X-Student is incredible, and he's just really hard to deal with. Like, he takes more attacks to kill than what it's worth for the points. So if you can just use him to be annoying and they want to sit there and put 6 attacks into this guy, sure. Congratulations.
Devin?
I did play him on my double Cypher team. He was another good piece of tie-up. That's all he did, but I'll take it. It's not like he was bad. But yeah, not autoplay, I don't think. And if you have a Husk, probably don't play him.
We have all new Wolverine who does some stuff. She has a trait where she gains keywords if they share a trait, printed keyword with her, but she's probably already making a theme team in this set anyway because she has X-Men and whatnot. But
getting X Factor is nice if there's some.
Yeah, if it happens to work out, sure, whatever. But second trait, free. She generates the Jonathan Bystander, which is charge, 10 attack, battle fury, blades. It's good.
And doesn't die.
Yeah, and it doesn't die once per game. And then her trait is the healing factor, so you roll d6 at the beginning of your turn. I don't know how many tokens she has, so she has, if you have 1 token, she needs to roll 4. If you have 2, she needs to roll 3. So these and odds, she's going to be healing. Her Bucks is good. Her offenses are good, but her movement's just a little bit slow for my taste, but you can always up it. She's not as hard to kill as it looks, unfortunately, because no real defense powers outside of close. But still, I think she's pretty decent, and the bystander also picks up a lot of slack. PJ?
You definitely play her just for the 2 bodies in one package with Perplex, random healing. I really wish she had New Mutants keyword, because then Magneto Prime could be relevant, because then Hellfire Club, and it would just be a good day. But no, she doesn't share a single keyword with him, unfortunately. Oh, that's always awesome. So that part of her trait's pretty irrelevant for this set, I think.
Yeah.
The rest of her, she's just good. She's one of the highest costed figures in the set, but I think she's worth every point you're putting into her.
Devin?
Yeah, I mean, for her first trait, she can grab Generation X from Jubilee, which could be useful, I guess. And I'm sure there's somebody with X Factor and X-Man, although I don't know who. But yeah, she's extremely good. You should probably put her on your team. It's going to be hard for people to one-shot her in Sealed, unlike in Constructed. And being able to move up or get carried up and then drop a Jonathan is great.
Devin, her and Super Rare Angel will be really, really, really good.
Yeah, that is very true.
Michael?
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely gonna play her. I don't know why you wouldn't. She's, like PJ said, has the Jonathan 2 bodies in one thing. And honestly, the biggest fear you have against her is the range in the set. But if you position it right, Jonathan becomes the shield against that and soaks one of them, and then you turn around and blades them again next turn, and they just die. I really like the fact that it's free for that, Jonathan. So we were talking about Angel and Storm and these flyers and whatnot. You can carry her up to get into position, drop Jonathan, and have him still go ahead and charge up, so you don't miss out on attack for carrying someone.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, I really like how Perplex's change works with her, because like you can Perplex down their defense and attack with her and Jonathan, so you essentially have an 11 and a 12.
Mm-hmm.
Probably on 17, so they should totally be hitting. Yeah, you should basically be playing her. We now move on to the rare non-prime Professor X, who has shoots in and out of adjacency for improved targeting, X-Men Headmaster. Wait, I didn't realize that he had that. I didn't know that Professor X was tied into the X-Men. That's pretty cool. He has mind control, but when he uses it at range, he targets everybody opposing within range, but they can't attack, which is whatever. 18 defend, outwit. I like him. I like 18 defend. I like outwit. I like the 3 positioning. Really good attack value. Try to incapacitate or the mind control. I won 3 games thanks to him. But I also had Dust and Dark Beast, so maybe it wasn't just him. But TJ, what do you think?
I like him. I think he's really playable at either point value. Like either you take the 25 less points for still having a 17 defend and only 1 less attack value, or you just pump in the full 75 and have, like you said, great stats. I think you almost definitely play this guy just because of how dirty his mind control is.
Get over here.
He doesn't care about line of fire, and that's absolutely huge. So just position and hold. There's a distinct lack of charge and stuff. So, like, if you just mind control their pieces that they moved into adjacency and just move them back 1 square, it just ruins their day.
Yep, as I saw with my ciphers. Yeah, playing against this piece, I think he's amazing. 12 attack on that mind control within 8, and it's not even printed range or anything, so you can always perplex up his range if you need it. Like, he's extremely good. Repositioning your opponent's entire team is amazing. 18 defend is obviously really good too in this set. So
yeah, and he's also just long enough that he won't be one-shotted most of the time when they'll save a really good blades roll. Michael?
No, this piece is stupid because your opponent never actually does what they want to do. You hide him behind a wall with your entire team, and you mind control everybody, and then you pick which piece am I killing this turn, pull them to you, send everyone else away, and then you outwit what you need outwitting, and you just murder it. I had to go against in that winner brick I was talking about. It was the Prime Magneto and him with a few other pieces thrown in. Wasn't fun. But the real power in him is the regardless of line of fire. The fact that you can barrier with your cheap pieces and still do it. The fact that you hide inside of WizKid office and just maneuver stuff not caring is very, very overpowered, especially in the sealed format.
Yep. Now we have his Prime, which is the Brood version, who has the Professor or Headmaster trait for New Mutants, which is not as uncommon as it's not as common as X-Men, but it's still pretty common. And he has another trait. One opposing character, 50 points or less, or another friendly character with New Mutants is KO. Generate a Royal Hatchling Bystander, which I think they have like mind control blades. Yeah, mind control blades toughness. He has a ridiculous mind control, which is he has triple targets with it, along with sidestep, and then when he uses it, they all get the highest attack and damage among them. So if you mind control, like, I don't know, an opposing Headmaster, Wolverine, and a couple small things, they all get the best values. I think that's really good. And then he has a power shape change defensively, as well as blades, because, you know, if they're going to base him, he's just going to fight them. 50-point line is pretty decent too, although I don't think you're playing it over the full points. The psychic class is nice, but I don't see myself using that over it. I think you just pretty much play this guy. I don't really see a reason why you don't. But Others may disagree. What do you think, Devin?
Yeah, I think he's autoplay. I wouldn't play him at the lower point line, really. Psychic Blast is nice, but then he doesn't get sidestep, so it's harder to set it up. The special mind control power isn't as useful here as it would be in like Constructed, although you're probably not playing him in Constructed because there isn't anybody with huge printed attack and damage. Well, there's some, but not a ton. So you're probably not getting a ridiculous amount of use out of that particular part of it. He's another mind controller who doesn't synergize at all with Primoria because he already has 3 targets. But yeah, no, he's really good.
In Constructed, you're ID carding him for sure. Oh yeah, I forgot to look at his ID card for the prizes of the Open, but it's participation, inspiration, shape change. But you're playing it regardless because of this.
Play it. Go participate in WKO. Get that ID. Get this piece. Play it on every team.
Oh, Michael, what do you think about this piece?
I do want to say, just to kind of argue what Devin was saying about the attack damage isn't that relevant. You can give Artie the stats of other people and then smack them with Artie really, really hard.
Very true.
The fact that you can turn their supports into damagers to then damage their damagers is pretty nice.
I like the idea of just punishing your opponent for playing Artie. PJ, do you not like this piece for some reason?
No, he's an autoplay.
Moving on, we have the rare magic, who has mutants trait, and she has a trait where she can basically turn into the full super rare magic. But I'm never playing this over. I would literally need to pull up 2 super rare magics, and even then, I'm just gonna play the 2 super rare magics. So that trait I feel is never relevant, but she has a passenger 3. And she gets a corruption token to try and turn to the other magic, which I think you never should do. But even so, Passenger 3, really good, although no X-Men, because why should Magic get X-Men ever? And she has Soul Sword, which is just Blade, and she gets a corruption token for using it. Gets Prob Later. She still, I would still play her, but I would just ignore her second trait entirely, basically, if I have another magic anyway. Michael?
I wouldn't play her. She has no move and attack. You have to get based and then attack with a 10. I mean, I guess maybe as a taxi, but she's really, really expensive as a taxi. I'd rather find 75 points somewhere else.
PJ?
I would play her as a taxi, no doubt. The major difference is she has phasing with her carry, and the only other taxis we've seen are 3 of them. That's like a prime and 2 rares. So taxis aren't exactly going to be this hot common thing. So you may have to look at taking whatever taxi you can get. And I think she does it fine. Invuln with 17 defense isn't bad. So I would play her probably 100% of the time that I open her.
Devin?
Yeah, definitely if you opened a super rare magic, you're not putting it on the sideline for this one. But the taxiing is nice. If you have a Cypher, having another character with the new mutants trait is pretty nice because there just aren't that many of them in the set. She's not an auto play for me. Depends what else I pull, but she's definitely playable.
Yeah. Sprite is the next piece. She ignores everything for movement, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her trait, when she's KO'd by an attack, after resolutions, they take 2 penetrating and get a token. So, hey, you took my 50-point piece and take 2 penetrating, unless they have invincible, in which case you're sad. Student, and then she has a special attack power. When she moves through 1 or more opposing characters after resolutions, you roll d6. Once per turn, 5 to 6, give them a token. She has exploit with that. She has good defenses, basically all the way down. If they KO, just make sure that she doesn't get KO by an invincible piece, basically. But I think you pretty much just play her all the time. PJ?
Agreed. Autoplay. She's very, very good. The improved movement on everything is just so stupidly valuable.
Yeah, especially with a surprising meta barrier in this set. Devin?
Yeah, she's definitely an autoplay. And I have to say that I didn't realize that her attack power mentioned Garrock, who's somebody that I was mentioning the other day that I wanted made into a click. For no reason, because nobody cares about Garrock. Yeah, she's definitely an autoplay. Even her attack power is pretty good. Moving through everything is awesome.
Michael?
I love this piece so much. The fact that it's another Kitty Pryde that's not Kitty Pryde is pretty cool. And the fact that you're messing with multiple characters at once. Sure, you're only exploiting for 2, but you charge through someone and hopefully give them tokens. She's locked down while damaging, while having a roll off, and just moving wherever she wants. Those pesky tie-up pieces aren't relevant because she ignores them. And then, I mean, when the unfortunate event happens that she does finally die, she's probably put in a lot of work, and then they get punished for it. So,
yeah, she's deep enough that she's not getting one shot. So, and even then, on those last clicks, she's going to be very annoying to deal with because your opponent should probably never be poisoning her because she has sidestep ignores characters. So, never happening. That she's getting KO'd an attack.
And if they're using 2 outwits to take 2 penetrating damage, okay.
Yeah. Next we have Banshee, who is a headmaster for Generation X, although he does have X-Men, so he can leadership them awesomely. He also has special attack power later. When he hits an opposing character of less points with a range attack, after resolutions, give him a token. You're probably never playing him at lower points, I think, because you're just losing out on so much. Enhancement's good. Wrench-Up Pulse Wave is obviously good. Taxiing is good. He has leadership for X-Men and the team ability, and once he's pushed, you probably want to heal him back as soon as possible. So having access to that is good, and the Generation X keyword is there enough that you should probably have a random character with it that has X-Men and it, I think, including Husk as a common. So, I think he's pretty good. Not autoplay, but definitely a strong consideration. PJ?
He has running shot pulse wave. So the flight symbol, you don't really need anything else to be considered a playable piece in sealed. So yeah.
Kevin?
Yeah, his top dial is amazing. Running shot pulse wave, enhancement, both extremely good. The rest of his dial is not as good, but okay defenses, leadership, he's playable for sure.
Michael?
No, I would play him. I mean, who's going to turn down that pulse wave? And as everyone keeps telling me, there's tons of perplex in this set, so giving him an 11 is relevant.
Yep, I played him just yesterday, and I had a Jean Grey chase, so with enhancement and the revenge token, she was dealing 5. It was good. Next, we have Chamber.
There you go, PJ.
Yeah, it took long enough. He has a Generation X trait, and he has another trait, which is poison, and is penetrating if they're lower points. He has an interesting mix of powers, I feel, like Force Blast to go with either closer range, Psychic Blast if you want to go at range, but you also have the close option to set up poison and make an attack. Enhancement's nice. Long enough to that he won't be one-shot. He's not spectacular, but I think he's somewhat playable. Devin?
Yeah, I definitely think he's playable. I don't think he's the best figure in the set, but he has the X-Men keyword. He has enhancement. He can move 5 in attack or shoot from range. No move in attack at range is annoying, but traded poison with it being penetrating to lower point characters is amazing. He's extremely good, but not auto play if you get other things that happen to be better. It's just unlikely since he's one of your rares, I think.
Yeah, Michael?
Agreed. Especially if you have a TKer, he becomes a lot more relevant. Especially with the enhancement. If you have 2 range pieces, it's just going to help enormously. Plus, the Force Blast with the range attack, or even with the close attack, is nice because you can hit them into walls and stuff like that, depending on how you position it. And if they do get up on you, then you've got the poison that's 90% of the time going to be penetrating. So,
yep. Moving on, we're going to try and start going a little bit faster. Because it is 10 to 12 in my time zone. We have M, who is hypersonic, Gen X trait, and she copies Reflex if your opponent uses it. Or I would if they use it, and there's a lot of headmasters, so she's getting Reflex probably, or she makes them not use it. Her stats are fine, and invincible. Other reducers are good. She's good. She carries. She does stuff. Michael?
I mean, yeah, you're playing her. She's a flying hypersonic piece that most likely takes Perplex every turn. So with Invincible on top of that, yeah, I mean, she's awesome.
PJ?
Autoplay.
Devin?
Flying, Indomitable, Hypersonic, Invincible, most likely Perplex or Outwit. Yes, definitely playing her.
Icarus is another flyer, which you definitely like. He has the Hellion trait to eventually deal penetrating damage if he rolls hot. Student trait is good. He has charge with ignores characters and he gets willpower. From its top dial, Quake is really good, especially since you get knockback damage if you fall off, elevated if you're a flyer now. Hitting multiple characters is good. Potentially penetrating is good. And the willpower, it's all good stuff. PJ.
Definitely play.
Devin?
Yeah, I love the willpower improvement, and Quake, definitely play.
Michael.
One me a brick.
ROC is a character. He's basically better than Mondo in every way. He has Hellions for potentially penetrating damage, along with really solid damage values. X-Student trait, late dial Pulse Wave with a potential 4. That seems okay to me. And he has a variable toughness, vulnerability, whatever. Unfortunately, yeah, if you don't have map roll with him, it's a lot harder to justify him, but even then, really good numbers there. So, yeah, if you get theme with him, consider him, but if you don't have theme, no way. Devin?
Yeah, he's definitely playable, I think. Great numbers. I think he's better than Mondo, even though he doesn't have the free move into hindering, which is kind of nice. But there's a lot of TK in the set, so mobility isn't that much of a problem. I like him.
Michael?
He's extremely hard to kill because of the healing on top of everything else. I really like this piece.
PJ?
He's good. I would probably play him. He has X-Men keywords, so it'll be easy to hold the team.
Yeah, I couldn't tell because it's just hard to see from where I am because I'm looking at the screen share. Sorry, everyone. Brew has X-Student, and he has a variable cost. Lake Cypher, he pays 25 points or 50 points. He has a stop click with Battle Fury Exploit Weakness. He's 50 points. He takes 3 hits to kill. Your opponent wants to get him off of Outwit, but then he becomes a monster. I play him almost all the time. PJ?
Yep, I play him 100% of the time and at 50. He's a tiny Outwit piece, so you can carry him around, and then all of a sudden he's just shredding people.
Devin?
Absolutely at 50. Play him 100% of the time. He has X-Men keywords, so really not much reason to get a theme team or something in the set. You're going to have an X-Men theme if you have a theme.
Michael?
Yeah, we're playing him.
Gold Balls has Gold Balls. When he hits an opposing character with a ranged attack, you generate a late object named Gold Balls. And opposing characters adjacent to occupying a square as or holding one of them get -1 attack and defense. He's X-Men, so yeah, he's pretty okay. Decent range, Force Blast is nice, debuffs are nice. Making more light objects for your low point characters to use is nice. I think he's generally, I don't see a reason not to play him pretty much. Michael?
Yeah, I would definitely play him, especially for the light object generation, because you smack them and then you have a charger run in and pick it up and hit them with it. He's got Force Blast 2 to try to keep them away from him. So even though he has to get up to 5 to hit you, you're now 8 away from him. I like it.
PJ?
Nah, meh. You probably play him just because he's low enough points and he's one of your rares, but you're not happy about it.
Yeah.
Devin?
He was on my sealed winning team, so I like him. But yeah, he's not spectacular. Reducing people's stats with his objects is pretty awesome, and I do like hitting people with them afterwards, like Michael said.
With your balls, yeah, it's always fun. Prodigy has the ex-student trait, and the if your opponent uses pick a power, he and a friendly character that you choose get it. Decently common enough in the set, but you just play him anyway, I feel like, because he has X-Men, and he has Outwit, Sidestep, Willpower, so he's a good theme proper, all that good stuff. I don't really see a reason not to play him most of the time. PJ?
I think he's an autoplay. Sidestep, Outwit, X-Men team ability, X-Men keyword, ex-student trait, phenomenal. And
30 points.
Powers.
Sorry.
What?
7?
The potential to get tons of defense powers because of how many people in the set pick defense powers. Outwit, Sidestep, X-Men keyword, X-Men team ability. He's good.
Michael.
He has too many good things going for him to be 30 points. You're always playing him.
Up next, I can't even see who we have, but we have a character
Fat.
of some sort. We have Bad. He has a headline straight we've seen before. He gets tokens for hitting, and he uses them for stuff. At the beginning of your turn, roll d6. Basically, you get +1 to 1 stat, or -1 to 1 stat, and +1 to everything else. And then he has Giant Reach 2, and then if you remove headline tokens, you get Giant Reach 2 plus how many you removed. He's fine. Solid enough stats, solid enough damage reduction. He does good enough stuff for me. Devin?
He's almost certainly not going to allow you to make a theme if you play him, because I don't think there's really any other X-Force in the set other than only Wolverine and Venus de Milo. But if you pulled all of those somehow, I don't know how you did that in 2 boosters. Yeah, you can pull 2 of them. All 3. Anyway.
Yeah, if you don't, I mean,
okay.
I'd only play him if you don't have theme already.
Yeah, I wouldn't break theme for him. He's not that good, I don't think, even though he's one of your rares.
Michael?
I mean, he's all right. You're going to feel bad whenever you roll the 1 and they drop your stats for you.
PJ?
I probably don't play him.
Professor Extremer, he is so bad that you should almost be allowed to ask for a new booster if you pull him. Anybody disagree?
Nope.
I'm very confused. Why does he have telekinesis when he's a telepath?
The flavor text is that he mind controls people to walk up. It's really dumb. The Cuckoo is the same. They don't actually have TK. It's pretty dumb. I don't know why they did that so much in this set.
So you never play him under any circumstances. Anybody disagree?
I mean, I play him if I have to fill out my points, and then I just use him to TK and sit in my starting area.
Fair enough. Michael?
I don't even know if I would do that. Honestly, I would probably break theme to play something else.
DJ?
Nope.
Magneto Realist. He has a +1 title to give everybody within range +1 attack, -2 to basically give everybody within range sidestep that's on sidestep, and -9, which you're probably not using, but all your characters get +1 damage, but it just takes too long. I'd rather just get the sidestep and the other stuff. But when he dies, everybody gets -1 damage, but he's so powerful. I feel like if he's dying, he's done so much damage for his points that it's still worth it. Devin?
He has very good stats. And giving your teammates plus attack is nice. Moving friendly characters 2 squares is potentially very, very good. He's not 100% autoplay, but I don't know what exactly you would pull to make him not playable.
I mean, he does basically automatically break theme.
Yeah, he breaks your theme, so that's not great, but unless you pull a good other super rare in another pack, I don't know what else you play.
Michael?
I'm just playing a kill lane with 2 awesome super rares or chasing him. Like, I don't see myself ever not playing someone with a 13 reach, 4 damage Pensai, and yeah, he's awesome. Oh, and then he has the +1 attack too, so he's a 12. Yeah.
Yeah, his worst attack with that is a 10. PJ?
You definitely play him if you open him. I mean, it's one of your rare slots. Only thing, he would be phenomenal if he had willpower or Indom, whatever, but he doesn't. But he's still incredibly playable.
If
At
you
least he
pull
has
like an
Brotherhood.
Wolverine and an Iceman, then maybe. But that's it.
Next we have Angel, who has the X Factor trait, and he has a special power where he gets to pull token, either heal an X Factor character one if they have one token, or if they have two tokens, take one off. Good swing. He's a taxi. It's really good attach for the 60 points. Defenders is not relevant at all. And if you have X Factor characters, he makes them incredibly better. Michael, do you play this guy?
If you're playing Iceman. But even if you're not, he's a flyer. He's another taxi. He's only 60 points. Why not?
PJ?
Yep, 100% of the time.
Devin?
Yeah, always. I think the Rare Angel is better, but if I pulled both of them, I'd just play both of them.
Agreed.
Professor Cyclops has Headmaster. He ignores one square blocking for line of fire. He has free make a range attack, but only if your opponent hit, or only targeting a character that hit one of your X-Men. Sidestep traded, and if he's closer to your starting area, he has energy shield. He's closer to theirs, he has Psychic Blast. I think you play him at 100. I don't necessarily play him at 150, but I definitely play him at 50. Devin?
I mean, it depends what else you pull. If I didn't pull a ton of other things, I'm playing him at 150. If I pulled some stuff so that he's more of a support character, I'm going to play him at 50. But I have played against him a couple times, and I've never had a problem killing him. But I think that's partially just due to the people that I've been facing not being amazing players and not having great luck. So I think,
and the fact that he doesn't really have a defense power top tile.
Yeah, I mean, energy shield is nice, but
Michael?
up close isn't too hard.
I mean, I don't see why you don't play him, especially considering he's a baby version of a Colossal Retaliator, essentially. And the fact that he gets to cheat and activate it every turn with that Mastermind. If you're playing Theme Team, you just make them hit your friendlies that are your support, and then he gets angry and gets flurry.
Yeah, I hate that that is a thing, but it works really well.
It's a good interaction. PJ?
You 100% play this guy. If you pull it, you play him at 150. If you open him in Darwin, you just laugh your way through the entire event. Push him on the Mastermind, and you roll the damage at Darwin. You're just like, as you just keep blasting everyone every turn. Traded Sidestep is ridiculous, and not only that, but it also grants other powers, none of which are selecting a power, so it doesn't, nothing he does gets stopped by any of the anti-pick-a-power pieces.
Headmaster Wolverine, basically the same, except he has free close attack, and he has either reflexes or flurry. You play him at 150 every single time because of all those stop clicks. PJ?
Yeah, 3 stop clicks on 150-point piece. With the X-Men team ability. So, yeah.
Also very good with Darwin.
Yeah, also very good with Darwin.
Michael?
That's not a question. Let's just move on.
Yeah, really.
Gateway is a passenger with 8 and prob. I think you just play him all the time. TJ?
Yeah, you can't not play this guy. Top dial prob.
Anybody disagree with the only top dial prob in the set? Anybody?
I mean, I played him yesterday, so no.
Okay, moving on then. Old Man Logan has special damage power with Empower and gives reflexes to low point characters, which is most of the set. He has, if he's killing your opponent's turn, or you get an extra turn. It's probably not happening. Regen traded, but he heals one less with it. And he's X-Men. I think he's pretty good. I think I'd probably play him, but I don't ever think that I'm going to get his first trait to kick off. Devin?
I did play him once. I came very close to getting his first trait to kick off, but I didn't actually manage it. I love his damage power with the tie-up pieces in this set, as I've said on multiple tie-up pieces. Yeah, no, he's really good, obviously.
Michael?
Is it possible for the trait to go off without playing two of him, because wouldn't he be off the board when he's KO'd? So then there's no one there with the trait to activate.
It works.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not like the Black Lanterns where you had to have one on board and all that.
No.
Okay.
No.
Cool. I mean, yeah, you play him.
DJ?
You play him, but you look for one of the defend pieces to go with him to compensate for his low values.
Dust has free smoke cloud that damages things, and there's still little reducers in this set. She has really good defense numbers. Do you not play her, Devin?
You covered it. She's amazing.
Does anybody think you don't play Dust?
Autoplay.
Autoplay.
Okay, I don't have to kick anybody off the show. Kid Gladiator.
Autoplay.
Anybody disagree? You're off the show forever if you say otherwise.
And in sealed, his trait is even better, probably, because you're probably not playing any other primary attackers with him, so he just gets +1 stats forever.
Yeah, Kid Gladiator, probably one of just the biggest threat in the set. Magic. Also, just I don't see a reason not to play her, because Iceman doesn't. You can play her on Iceman. There's no reason not to play her. Devin?
Yeah, you play her. I did a couple days ago. It worked out really well. She's really good.
Yep, me too. I only lost because I couldn't hit sixes. Michael?
Yeah, she's insane. She penetrates no matter how she's hitting you, and she heals if she hits you close.
DJ?
Definitely play.
Emma Frost. You probably don't play her.
Right.
Nope.
Yeah. Anybody disagree? No? Moving on? Yeah?
Unless somehow you have a Hellions theme team, but that would be a bad team, so you shouldn't build it.
White Queen Prime. I think she's actually really, really good because she enhances and empowers everybody, including herself. Leadership is good. She's just everything she does is good. She's not. I don't see a reason not to play her. I wouldn't call her an autoplay though. I think she's just a piece that you play. PJ.
Yeah, you play her at 100.
Yeah, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
Michael.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Devin, you love Emma. You say yes.
Yeah, Emma is my favorite character, so yes, I absolutely play her. But separately from that, she's also really good. So yeah.
Venus de Milo. She has headlines, and when she gets them, she can use TK for free. She has really good stats. She carries. She ignores the map. She can do rain of shenanigans with TK. She never has bad stats. She just does awesome stuff. Anybody say you don't play her?
Nope. Play her all the time.
Nope, I did play her, and it worked out really well, other than the one time I rolled a 3 and missed, so I couldn't use TK to get myself out of there.
And the fact that she's the only character that you didn't care about. Michael?
Yeah, now you play her.
You pretty much play all the chases, but let's look at them anyway. They all have the same survival of the Age of Apocalypse trait, so if you damage them, I get +1 attacking damage against that character. And when they KO, they take the tokens off and try and do penetrating damage. Angel is a taxi, and he doesn't want to be next to friendlies because of his special shape change, but he can just carry them sidestep away. He has reflex, he has good stats. You play him. Anybody disagree?
Nope.
I made someone nuke their whole team with him.
Nuke their own team?
Yeah, with that stop click free thing, everyone was around and it happened.
But it's free.
Why'd they use
I know. I know.
All right.
They thought it would, and it wouldn't.
Dark Beast doesn't have X-Men, but he basically just gets it. He has Outwit, good numbers all around, traded stealth. Does anybody think you don't play him?
Nope.
I mean, if you were going to have an X-Men themed team, if you were playing anybody else with the X-Men keyword, you'll have it with him too. You're not going to have an X-Men themed team of just him and one other person. So
you're not wrong, but that's also impossible because there's the only highest point character in the set is Iceman, 175.
You would be ridiculously underbuilt.
And you'd have 2 chases and just don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. Cyclops, his numbers are ridiculous. Before you factor in the revenge tokens, and then after it's just gross. Leadership enhancement helps everybody else. Does anybody not play him?
No, he's extremely good.
Stop me if you're not playing one of these chasers. Iceman, Brian Shot Pulse Wave. You play him at full points.
Never play
the
him.
line is good, but it prevents you from playing the higher point line. Yeah, you play Iceman. His stats are really good. Moving on, Jean Grey. Her swing is stupid. She has Outwit. I played this yesterday and talked about it. She helps your whole team every single turn with a free TK. She can heal good onto willpower, so she can even push for it. Does anybody not play her? No. Moving on. Last piece of the set, Mr. Sinister. He's not as good as the other chases, but still solid numbers all the way through. Always has good stuff going on. Does anybody not play him? Are we done?
I might not play him. I probably would, but there's a chance that I wouldn't play him.
I want to add, I might play Gene at low dial.
Fair enough. As far as ID cards go, if you pull them and the characters, you probably use it, unless it's just a character you want to play in general.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I've only ever seen that happen once. It was with Chamber. He never called him in.
Okay. Questions from Discord. No, PJ, you can't ask questions. I hate you. No, Jay, responding to that. No. Jason Collins, we all know him vaguely. He asks, boxers, briefs, or other, and the answer is, if you're wearing a kilt, neither, because you don't wear any underwear. Hi, PJ.
Hey.
That's not a Heroclix question. I don't like you right now, Jason. Nathaniel White asks us not to answer Jason's question. I unfortunately can't comply with that because I don't time travel. Facebook, Pedro Roca. Can we establish PJ as a couple name for brevity? I don't really care either way. Sure.
Yep.
Zach Strong. There are some strong fringe competitive pieces that you think will become much better post-rotation. Anything that has powers that are uncounterable and ignorable, because post-rotation, those actually matter.
Anything that normally gets crapped on by Green Arrow or Nick Fury. So, like, Bizarro Green Arrow.
Headmaster Wolverine.
We were talking about that in one of the many chats the other day. Yes, you play like multiples of him. Michael.
I'm sorry, I spaced out on that question.
Are there any fringy pieces you play post-rotation?
I'm not sure yet. I'll talk to you in post-rotation. Right now, I'm focused.
Yeah.
Chris Talkhouse says, I have a sealed open. Very thankful that you're doing this. Blah, blah. What is Lockjaw's value going to settle at by the end of March? Which prize will we see on a winning team first of all the open prizes? I think PJ said 150. Did you?
Yeah, well, for the first couple weeks.
By the end of March, I'd say about 80.
No. Shadow
Shadow's still 100 at least.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
100 and is awful. Lockjaw will bottom out at 130.
I didn't realize she was still 100. Jeez.
Yeah, she's impossible.
There are just none of them, basically. So.
Yeah. There aren't that many in circulation, and she's not good. Like, she got an ID, and it still isn't playable.
You could call her in with her ID.
Yeah, but there's so many.
Why would you? But you could.
As far as which prize do we think we see on a winning team, I mean, do you count the Professor X ID? If not, because it's participation,
Fig-wise, Death's Head. Otherwise, the ID.
You don't think Lockjaw?
Nope, because I'm going to go win an event with Death's Head as soon as I can.
Devin?
Yeah, either if the Professor X ID counts, probably that one. Otherwise, Lockjaw probably, but I don't know. I don't think any of them are going to be the meta.
Brian Poling asked PJ specifically after firsting your first Mega Super Q, which was excellent, by the way. Is there anything you would do differently next time? Partial ban list, or just anything as the one running it you think would improve it?
The one thing I've thought about doing is seeing if I could do a rotating band list that bans the pieces that won the last event that I hosted. Every piece on that build is not allowed at the next one.
That'd be fun.
Includes
I
like
maybe recall Highlander Games and Comics having some sort of tournament
like
that.
something Kenny Pena told me about, and I'm like, wow, that'd actually be really fun to do. So I think it would be cool to do as a circuit. And then you just constantly, and like the band list just keeps growing, and you do it like per year. So that's what I would like to do, but we'll see.
KJ Foster asks, besides Darwin and Leech, what characters build would playtest against from the newer Harley and X-Men sets for the few 300 modern opens. PJ?
What was the question?
Besides Darwin and Leech, what characters build would you play test against from the newer Harley and X-Men sets for the 300-point modern opens?
It's really tough because I feel like a lot of this stuff's just going to be way better post-rotation, but maybe like Stop Click Wolverine at 150. I could see popping up at events just because he's really good if he doesn't get arrowed. But that's all I can really think of other than Prodigy, since he didn't technically say that.
I guess ID cards.
Michael?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you're really playtesting against that as a figure, but I mean, there's relevant ID cards that came in it. So,
Devin?
Yeah, as far as actual figures in the set go, really nothing, I don't think. But the rare X-Men ID cards will definitely see some use. Super Rare Beast as a call-in, Chase Magneto from UXM, that kind of stuff.
Tyler Mirren asks, question, I've been trying to build with the OP kit, Man Without Fear, Black Panther. I've been trying to build theme teams, which have been somewhat successful. What figures would you pair him with, and what is your favorite carded Black Panther? Devin?
My favorite carded Black Panther is probably Shuri, but not for her dial. For dial, it's probably that Man Without Fear. But Chase Shuri Black Panther is awesome, just in general. As far as characters to pair him with, I don't actually remember what keywords he has. I know he doesn't
Marvel
have
Knights,
Wakanda. Marvel Knights, okay. The Marvel Knights Fast Forces characters, I guess. I don't know.
He's martial artist also, so you could play him with like turtles and stuff.
Yeah.
Nice. PJ?
My favorite is the Super Rare Black Panther because I used him to win 2 events. And Man Without Fear, I feel like he's not something you have to really build around. I feel like you just play him as a 75-point secondary attacker. You probably want theme because he really likes being in printed hindering, and you just put him on Wakanda. So probably building martial artist theme with Chase Turtles is the way to go, since they'll have stealth and can abuse the hindering as well.
I like shifting focus Black Panther. And for actual advice, Karen Page is a good Marvel Knight. Foggy's good. Ghost Rider. What's her name? Female Punisher is ridiculously good.
Does the Super Rare Knight have it?
Yeah.
He's pretty good,
too. Unfortunately, Rachel Colehouse doesn't really mesh with Man Without Fear specifically good. That's it for Facebook, YouTube, and then we're done. Yay, 3-hour shows. Questions.
My favorite one was the one from Age of Ultron.
Yeah, back in his day, he was probably the best.
If only Wakanda keyword existed at the time.
Yeah, if only I was a judge and could make events for that reason. David Wilson asks, well, Surtur's a good cancer-plated Darwin. Is it worth it to consider using your opponent's Darwin to get Mangog across the board quicker, or is that too greedy? Devin?
I don't see it being greedy. Getting Mangog across the board is awesome.
I mean, you're just punishing your opponent for playing Darwin, which is just...
Yeah, but you shouldn't play either of those pieces in anticipation specifically of a Darwin, I don't think. I don't think it's worth it. Both of those pieces are quite good, but not entirely because of Darwin's existence.
Michael?
I mean, sure, why not, if you've got the points for it, but again, like what happened earlier in the show, what a lot of people haven't realized yet is Darwin hurts yourself too. So typically you're playing Pick-a Power in the meta currently, and so if you're playing the Darwin to stop it, you're also injuring yourself every time you want to do anything. So he may be a little bit less relevant, but then again, I'm still going to go with Surtur, probably.
Yeah, my problem with the Pick-a-Power stuff is that most of them don't do anything other than just have Pick-a-Power. Like, Jakeem doesn't do anything else. PJ?
It's cute. Is the term I like to use for it. But it's just not good in any other matchup. So Surtur is good always, especially with the change to shutting off defense powers. So just always take Surtur. Ignore trying to jump Mangog over and do something like that. Just play the better piece that's going to do more for you in every matchup.
KJ asks, is Unimind Nighthawk still a top 3 build, PJ?
Probably. It's hard saying. I actually think Unimind with something else is probably better right now because Unimind's seeing less play, so Nighthawk becomes less mandatory. So I feel like you can just play whatever else with Unimind and be fine. But yeah, the team's still good. Doesn't change the fact that it's good.
Yeah, Dan has said that he play tests against that team still as a benchmark, and it seems to still be good. Michael?
Going off of what PJ said, I think that you could have a little bit of fun playing Unimind Lockjaw, because they both are cosmic.
Ooh.
Those Flora, what?
I was going to say those Floras have the cosmic keyword. Devin?
Yeah, I have literally nothing to contribute here. I've never played against a Unimind Nighthawk in my life, so I really don't know, but I feel like it's still a really good build.
Question William Dickey asks, what format do you suggest getting into more for competitive play? Modern, sealed, limit, or just do them all and hope for the best? I would probably say, I guess limited. You can't become good playing sealed as much as other formats, and modern has a lot more going on. But then again, you can't play WizKids limited, so I feel like limited might be the best overall. Devin?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had very many limited events around here lately, which is unfortunate, but we might get some again. I have preferred limited for a while, but then again, I haven't played limited since the release of Unimind, so I may change my mind on that as soon as I play an event that has a Unimind in it. Yeah, I really enjoyed limited when there was no Unimind, but I can't really say anything else until then.
Michael?
Agreed. Big boy Unimind is ruined. Limited, in my opinion. Before that, it would have been a great time to learn all the different mechanics, see all the different original teams and everything. But right now, you're either playing Unimind or you're playing something to beat Unimind, and so you don't really get the
Unimind.
Yeah, so you don't really get the full experience of learning all the different intricacies the game has to offer.
PJ?
I want to start by fun fact. Full Dial Unimind has yet to win an event in Limited. So
have there been many yet?
There's been 6 or 7.
Was there Unimind on any of the winning teams?
One at 165.
Yeah, Jalen Major's team
Yeah,
with Doc Hawk and whatnot.
It was a Doc Hawk team that happened to be playing Unimind.
Then your event was won by a Unimind copycat.
That's also Rock Age, and Copycat was probably the more driving force than Unimind was. He won a lot of games just stealing Overdrive.
Oh, wow.
He's like, I'll take your Overdrive. All right. Good job getting across the map in like 4 turns while I'm shooting you. Like, he could have played anything with Copycat and probably still won. He was the only Copycat in attendance. And Dam's a good player. But so to answer the question, though, I think 300 Modern's where you want to dive into if you're trying to do competitive play because it's what you're going to play the most. So you might as well get used to it. Don't try to get spoiled by Limited or think that's the only fun format, because if you ever intend to go to Origins, you need to be able to play 300 Modern.
Yeah.
William Dickey asks, does Jonathan lose the 2-hit thing if only Wolverine leaves the field, like with her idea? I'm pretty sure he keeps it based on the wording, but does anybody disagree?
I do disagree.
I disagree.
Yeah, I think he dies once because it's not a power that's on the Pog; it's a power that's on all new Wolverine.
Right, but she says this game or something like that.
All right, let's go find the wording.
I got it.
Yeah, it doesn't say once per game. It says like something like this game, which is pretty close to like for the rest of the game.
It says the first time each game that the bystander would be KO'd, instead it isn't.
Yeah,
but it doesn't technically say that that's a power on the, because yeah, if it was a trait on the bystander, then it would be unambiguously that it stays. But since it's in her defense power, it doesn't necessarily stay.
I mean,
the once per game part is generate the bystander. Then it
Yeah.
explicitly stops the sentence and then continues on to another part of the power. So
I would have assumed that it died if she was dead. But
I think it
I
needs
mean-
clarification because it's worded
Yeah.
really weirdly.
look at it this way: if you capture Gertrude, you can shoot Old Lace and kill it. It's the same concept. It's not on the board to protect it.
Sure. Question Monkey Tool asks, question for everybody, including the chat. What is the best YouTube channel for watching games where you can see the figures really close up?
it's pretty hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's such a big
Really hard to
map.
see the whole map. Yeah. Your best bet's to watch Roll20 games, I think, that people are willing to do publicly because you can see the whole map pretty easily. And you can zoom in without affecting their game and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
unless they wanted
yeah.
to see details on the sculpt or something, at which point
I don't know.
otherwise you have T3
you're not going to have any luck.
Well, what are just good YouTube channels to watch games on? I like T3.
T3, and then I recently got access to Majestic's YouTube, and I'm streaming like every event I go to now. I'm running a stream at. So if their internet doesn't work, I'm going to record it, but they'll all be available on Majestic's YouTube. So
Nice.
yeah.
Oh my god. Any other random things people want to talk about? Please say no.
What, you don't want to stay up too much past 12:30?
Yeah, I guess
No, I
we'll talk
haven't
about
even
the OP kit next episode, now that we've seen a lot of it.
I mean, we wouldn't be talking about it anyway because it hasn't officially released. But
Hmm.
yeah, either way. So nobody, PJ, nothing random. Nothing you want to talk about extra on top of our 3-hour episode? What?
I said I love you guys.
Oh, I love you too so much. I want to touch your beard. Devin?
Well, thanks for having me on. That's all I got.
and hopefully have you on again soon if you do really well at the Open next week.
Yeah, I have to win some events.
Yeah, I'm probably going to try, hopefully have whoever wins the event on. Michael, thanks for being on. Anything to add?
Wish me luck going to Alabama yet again.
Have fun in Alabama. I don't have anything else to add. So we finish it off with the ad read. We're brought to you in part by HROMs.com, your one-stop source for everything Heroclix. Keep track of your collection of units. Keep up with the conversation in the forums. Check out the shop, and you can use the code MARRIED, 10% off your order, and to support the channel. I have articles every Tuesday. I have casual, generic ones. And I have the rules recap, which is all the rules forum postings. So rules recap can be important. We're also supported by Majestic CCG.com. Check out their eBay store and the online store and the premium site, MajesticCCG.com/Apex-Insiders. They have great articles from the great minds. PJ is a regular contributor. I'm a regular contributor for some reason. Adam Friedman, Pat, Easton, George. If they're a good player, they are a writer there. Dan Powell just started. And we're also supported by the ROC, which has a new website at roc.ionsuite.com. If you want to host a ROC, they have a section for that. They have a section where they have links to all the podcasts. They have a forum. They have ROC news. All the information you need to run a ROC. And yeah, pretty much all the ROC information you need. So that's it this week. And as we're signing off for this extra super ridiculously long Meta Lab, good luck in your opens, whether or not they're sealed and constructed. And always remember that practice makes your team better. Have a great night.